inside Stadium Australia is incredible. The entire nation is up for this as we welcome listeners to the BBC's World Service here at Stadium Australia in Sydney. So to round up that Australia team news, Sam Kerr starting for the first time at this tournament after 2 substitute appearances. She replaces Emily Van Egmond. Manchester City defender Alana Kennedy drops out through illness. So the Matildas' record appearance maker Claire Polkinghorne makes her first start since April after injury. Katrina Gorry in midfield wins her 100th cap. And it's worth saying as well, Karen, as England prepare to get us underway, 9 of this Australia side started that 2-0 friendly win over England in April. The only defeat that the Lionesses have suffered under Serena Wiegman. And the other 2 players are Ford and Catley, who would have played were they not injured.
Yeah, you know, it's a different side for both of these teams. I think you think the likes of Leah Williamson, you know, was playing at the same time for the Lionesses. So what were we going to see tonight?
So we're underway. A sporting rivalry that stretches across so many sports, down so many years, starts a new chapter in women's football tonight. It's England against Australia. It's the Women's World Cup semi-final, and it's live on 5 Live as the ball goes all the way back to Mary Earps. England playing from right to left in this opening half. They have Earps in goal. The back 3 of Jess Carter, Millie Bright, the captain, and Alex Greenwood. Ahead of them, it's Lucy Bronze, Georgia Stanway, Kira Walsh and Rachel Daly, with Ella Toone just in behind. Alessia Russo and Lauren Hemp up front as Australia win a free kick on the halfway line, and the boos are for the fact that England have fouled the Golden Girl, Sam Kerr.
I'll tell you what, England are going to love hearing those boos. It seems like it's almost like hero and villain out there, you know, and it's a fantastic role to play. England are going to be embracing this. But you can already see that Kira Walsh is being marked out of the game by Mary Fowler and Sam Kerr. They're really getting narrow around her, making it difficult to get on the ball.
So Australia with a free kick on the halfway line. That cheer you heard, incidentally, listeners, was just Sam Kerr getting back up to her feet and jogging off. That was it. That's how excited they are to see her as Australia play the ball down the left-hand side, looking for Kerr. She's challenged by her fellow captain, but on the opposing side this time, Millie Bright of England. Of course, they know each other so well, play together at Chelsea. And Australia, with the golden shirts, have it down the left-hand side. They can't keep it in. And England will have a throw over on that far side. So Australia with Mackenzie Arnold in goal. The back 4 of Ellie Carpenter, Claire Hunt, Claire Polkinghorne, who's in for the ill Alana Kennedy of Manchester City, and Steph Catley. Ahead of them, it's Hayley Russo, their top scorer so far with 3 goals. Katrina Gorry, Kyra Cooney-Cross and Caitlin Ford of Arsenal, with Sam Kerr and Mary Fowler of Manchester City up front. Mackenzie Arnold, we should say as well, the West Ham number 1, Steph Catley of Arsenal. There's just so much WSL interest in this Australia side. These are 2 groups of players that know each other so well. And as England win a throw over on the far side, just inside the Australia half, that is another strand to this narrative, Karen Bardsey. The fact that these players know each other so well from the WSL.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the experience that a lot of these Australian players, you know, were getting, maybe staying in the A-League in Australia, just wasn't kind of, you know, creating the players that would filter into this Matilda side. So coming over to the WSL has been a fantastic move. You can really see it's bolstered this Matilda side.
Long ball over the top from England, looking for the run of Ella Toone. It's cleared away by Australia. Ellie Carpenter, the right back, with the blue headband and the blonde hair, has it on this near side as Australia win the throw. 0-0 here on BBC Radio 5 Live in this Women's World Cup semi-final. A reminder, you can watch this match on BBC One. And the excellent commentary team of Robin Cowan and Rachel Brown-Finn is taking you through that. If you would like to listen to the 5 Live commentary as well, you can do that via the BBC Red button or the BBC iPlayer. Just select the match and you can choose the option with 5 Live commentary. England in possession midway through their own half. Here is the captain, Millie Bright, deputising for the injured Leah Williamson. One of 2 players, Beth Mead, the other one, the player of the tournament, the Golden Boot winner at the Euros last summer, but missed this tournament with ACLs for England. They're without Frank Kirby as well, through a knee injury, as England still have it just inside their own half. Of course, the retirements of Ellen White, their record goal scorer, Jill Scott, their 2nd highest appearance maker. Lost some big names in the build-up to this tournament, England. And through it as well with Walsh's injury, James's suspension, but they found a way to reach the semi-finals as the ball goes out of play for a throw to Australia midway through their own half. Can they make history, just as they did by winning their first major trophy last summer and reach their first ever Women's World Cup final? Good header on the halfway line for Australia by Gorry, picked up now by Rachel Daly, plays it forward looking for the run of Lauren Hemp. Cleared away by Australia and picked up by Cara Cooney-Cross, played forward by Steph Catley of Arsenal, pursued over on that far side by Caitlin Ford, her Arsenal teammate. The throw goes England's way, and Stadium Australia does not like that.
No, they certainly don't. You can see a really narrow approach from Australia. You've got Sam Kerr dictating the press centrally, and you got Mary Fowler on the left, and Hayley Russo, the opposite wide player on this near side, is really tucking in, trying to force play down this left-hand side, trying to stop the cross.
Ball over the top from England is shepherded back to Mackenzie Arnold by the hugely experienced Claire Polkinghorne, 34 years of age, 162nd cap she's winning, playing alongside a player who's very much at the other end of the scale. She's 24, Claire Hunt, but only made her debut back in February, her 12th cap, but as England have it just inside their own half. She's been so impressive, Claire Hunt, at the back for Australia.
She is. You know, she's been a really calming presence. I think, you know, not too long ago, Alana Kennedy was out significantly, you know, for a long period of time with an injury, and I think Claire Hunt's really come in, and you know, being a youngster, sometimes you think this might be a bit nervy, but she has been so composed and looks like she's been doing this for years.
England in possession midway through their own half. Millie Bright, the captain, plays it out to Rachel Daly on the left-hand side, played forward by Katrina Gorry, but England once more get the foot on it, and Rachel Daly will send it all the way back to Mary Earps. England, who have lost just once under Serena Wiegmann in her 37 games. It was to Australia back in April at Brentford in a friendly, as Mary Earps, under pressure, clears long downfield, won't be collected by Lauren Hemp initially. Russo back there wins it on the halfway line, but she's well dispossessed by Katrina Gorry, who herself is dispossessed by Stanway, and the ball goes out of play for a throw to England on the halfway line. 6 minutes gone, goalless in this Women's World Cup semi-final. Karen Bardsley.
Katrina Gorry in the Australian midfield, I mean, she is an absolute workhorse for this team. What an engine she has, and she is just pressing everywhere, regains left, right and centre. She's had a great start so far.
Here is Claire Polkinghorne, gets the foot in, but it will break for Ella Toone for England, 30 yards out. She's well dispossessed, and listen to the roar, and it's over the top, and Sam Kerr's in, and the flag stays down. Is this Kerr's moment? No! Earps makes the save, and now the flag is up on this near side. Relief for England, but Mary Earps did her job, and a big double fist bump with Jess Carter and the captain, Millie Bright.
You know, it's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. A really mistimed header for Millie Bright, but I thought she was miles off. But regardless, the ball needed saving. It's a good block for Mary Earps. Comes out, narrows the angle, big left foot there. And regardless of whether it was offside or not, that's a lot of confidence for Mary Earps.
Well, having just seen the replay, she was offside, Sam Kerr. She'd gone about a yard early. However, this is what she does as England bring the ball forward with Jess Carter. Over the top it goes, down the right-hand side to Alessia Russo, lays it off to Lucy Bronze. There's Hemp and Toone in the centre, plays it down the line to Russo instead, receives it back from Georgia Stanway. Nice little bit of possession for England, and you can hear the jeers and the whistles, the frustration just creeping in at Stadium Australia, which is a sea of gold all around us as England drive the ball forward. Headed away at the back by Steph Catley for Australia. Picked up by Georgia Stanway. Now Lucy Bronze. Forward to Russo, who's really taking up wide positions early on in this opening 8 minutes of this Women's World Cup semi-final here on 5 Live in the World Service. It's all the way back with Millie Bright. So, just going back to that Sam Kerr conversation, that's what she does. She plays on the shoulder of the defenders, and her manager at Chelsea, Emma Hayes, says often she gets flagged offside in the WSL, which doesn't have VAR. Sometimes her movement's so good. The benefit for Kerr is that VAR is here, so she can make those runs, she can tread those fine margins as England have it on halfway. And if she's onside, well, VAR will find it out as England play the ball over the top, looking for onside themselves. Oh, brilliant save by Mackenzie Arnold. Excellent run into the penalty area by Georgia Stanway, and Mackenzie Arnold stands up big. Huge save from the Australia number 1. Big chance for England to break the deadlock.
And that's Alex Greenwood for you. What a ball in, perfectly weighted, just lands at the feet of Georgia Stanway. I thought she was going to take it maybe a touch and pass it into that far side. but she goes for the first time half volley, and Mackenzie Arnold's equal to it. It's a good foot save, but you have to be clinical.
Big chance for England. Squandered by Stanway. What can they do from the corner? Greenwood's delivery. Cleared away almost by Australia. They get the second header in as well. England trying to keep it alive. Australia can't get it out of the penalty area. Shot is blocked from him. They're appealing for something in there, England. The throw goes their way, and I think that might be all it was. You always wonder whether there's a penalty shout in there, but they seem happy enough with the throw, England. But Australia, all of a sudden, looking a little bit shaky inside their own penalty area.
And it's always going to be a game where both teams are just kind of probing in the first few moments of this game to see where the weaknesses are. And I feel like England are starting to understand that defensively, particularly in the middle.
Sam Kerr's been cleaned out there by Alex Greenwood, and a very quick yellow card from our American referee, Tori Penso, as well. So 10 minutes in, Alex Greenwood on a booking. And honestly, I probably don't need to tell you what's happening when you hear rules like that, this is because basically it means Sam Kerr's been cleared out, and they're furious about it.
Yeah, I mean, no bones about it. I think Alex Greenwood, a bit eager there to let Sam Kerr know that, you know, she's in the game. And, you know, with a player that's as pivotal as Sam Kerr is, I think, you know, she's so used to getting those challenges as well. But, you know, welcome to the game, Sam Kerr, and Alex Greenwood, you're on a yellow.
10 minutes gone. It's goalless between England and Australia. Live from Sydney on 5 Live as Australia come down the left-hand side. Headed away inside the 6-yard box by Greenwood. Jess Carter will help it on. And Australia pick it up over on that left-hand side. Great tempo to the game early doors in this Women's World Cup semi-final. Australia bring it out to the right-hand side. Australia playing in the last four of the Women's World Cup for the very first time. They've made history already co-hosting this tournament, the Matildas. They want, just like England, to go 2 steps beyond. Here is Millie Bright as England win the ball back and just slow the play down midway through their own half. Bright will square it to Greenwood. Greenwood, who, like Karen Bardsley, sitting to my left, knows the heartbreak of losing in a World Cup semi-final with England. Not once, but twice. Can England change the story? Can they make history and reach their first Women's World Cup final? Out to the right-hand side they go. Delivery into the area. Rachel Daly's arriving. Ellie Carpenter's there, and she just about did enough, the Leon defender, and clears up towards halfway. And every successful clearance and touch is cheered by this capacity crowd. Over 75,000 inside this iconic stadium as England win the throw midway through the Australia half. It's 0-0, it's tight, it's tense.
It's great. Both teams are really growing into this. It's going to be a chess match. I think ultimately it'll come down to who makes the first mistake and who can capitalize, but really disciplined press so far. You can see Hayley Russo really trying to force play back into the numbers.
Oh, brilliant ball by Daly into the penalty area. Bronze was in there. Header was won by Australia. Bronze is saying that there was no foul in there. The referee is looking at her assistant to see if there was. No flag on the far side, so England get the corner.
It's a good ball in. I think obviously England have targeted that back post in terms of where the spaces emerge. I mean, Steph Catley does a great job of getting goal side of Lucy Bronze, and it's a fantastic cleared header, but that's where the threat's going to come from, those deep crosses in.
So corner to England, goalless, 12.5 minutes played in this Women's World Cup semi-final. Greenwood's delivery and the header is flicked over by Rachel Daly from 8 yards out, but she was coming through a crowd of gold shirts there and a couple of blue ones as well. And the header is over the bar.
Yeah, we've seen, you know, a few occasions where from set pieces maybe there's a lack of communication, but the two center halves that I've noticed, I mean, Alana Kennedy is obviously not available tonight, but you know, if I was England, I would be targeting the two center halves.
Yeah, missing out with illness, the Manchester City defender for Australia. Sam Kerr flicks that on. It's brought down by Millie Bright, who just about clears away from Caitlin Ford of Arsenal, who was rushing in. Bit of head tennis on the halfway line and help forward by Katrina Gorry, and Millie Bright is there again, and Alex Greenwood will play it to Bright, and Bright will spread it out to the right-hand side, and Lucy Bronze, who heads it on to Russo, who turns on brilliantly, feeds Hemp into the area, force wide. Can she get it back across? Toone is waiting. Australia defend that well with Hunt over on the far side, and Hemp is forced all the way back to Jess Carter, but what a bit of skill from Alessia Russo there as Kira Walsh plays it forward. Lucy Bronze knew she was offside, leaves it. Hemp can't get there. Australia goal kick, Karen Bardsley.
It's a really great pass from Alessia Russo, just slid in ever so well into the path of the on-rushing Lauren Hemp, and it's just a bit too much for her. She has to cut back and recirculate the ball, but again, those half spaces, those runs off the shoulder from Lauren Hemp in the deep areas are going to cause a lot of trouble for Claire Hunt and Claire Polkinghorn.
So Mackenzie Arnold, all in black with those bright orange gloves and boots, takes her time and places the ball on the edge of the 6-yard box. It's goalless here, 14 and a half minutes played on 5 Live and the World Service. A reminder, you can watch on BBC One. If you do that through the iPlayer with the red button, you can sync it up with our commentary as the ball is cleared by Mary Earps, just about away from Hayley Russo, wearing that yellow ribbon as ever. And England will play it with Kira Walsh. Back to Millie Bright once more. She's closed down by her Chelsea teammate Sam Kerr. So goes to another Chelsea player, Jess Carter, who plays the ball straight out of play. Big cheers. Australia throw midway through their own half.
You can see the impact that Sam Kerr is having already, even from that goal kick from Mackenzie Arnold. You can see that Sam Kerr was trying to 2v1 Jess Carter on that far side, going for the flick.
Advantage played, foul by Walsh on the halfway line, but Australia coming forwards. Down the right-hand side they go with Ellie Carpenter, plays it just ahead of Russo, and it's cleared away by Alex Greenwood. And Australia will have a throw on this near side. Goalless here on 5 Live and the World Service.
Really expansive in possession. It's amazing how quickly the Australians go from being very compact out of possession and then suddenly making the pitch enormous with the overlapping fullbacks, the like of Ellie Carpenter.
And here is Carpenter preparing to take this throw. Russo's on the move, just coming out of the penalty area to offer the short option, but Rachel Daly tracks the run for England, so Russo retreats. And Carpenter will launch the throw in long. It's cleared away at the back by Alex Greenwood. Comes straight back to Carpenter once more. He pulls it back to Katrina Gorry. Dinks it forward, looking for the run of Carpenter, who just gone the other way, dropped the shoulder, can't retrieve it, and England have the goal kick.
It's a bit too ambitious from Gorry, the Australian midfielder, for the overlapping Ellie Carpenter on this near side, but well managed from the England back line. They all squeezed out at the same time as soon as they realized the ball had been played backwards, and really I think even on the far side with Lucy Bronze tucking in, there was never a threat there.
So goalless, 16 minutes played in this Women's World Cup semi-final between England and Australia as Mary Earps prepares to take this goal kick here at Stadium Australia in Sydney. Such an iconic stadium for the Australians, that moment of national glory. Kathy Freeman winning 400-metre gold at the Sydney Olympics, but England coming forward here into the penalty area they go, and it's the side netting over on the far side of that penalty box from Alessia Russo. But all of a sudden, Karen, they sliced through Australia.
Again, it's recognizing where the space is. I mean, Mary Earps has understood that Australia is pressing relatively high, so why not play over it? Lucy Bronze takes a lovely little flick into the space. You know, it's played by Ella Toone onto Lauren Hemp and then into Alessia Russo, but yeah, it's a wasted opportunity. I think she could have cut that back across.
And I think Mackenzie Arnold probably had it covered at a near post. West Ham #1 has had such a good season in the WSL, and West Ham's player of the year as England commit the foul over on the far side, and Lucy Bronze might get a bit of a talking to here. A reminder, Bronze was one of those players on a yellow card going into the quarter-finals, but they're all white, so no player who gets a booking in this match would miss the final or the 3rd and 4th place bronze medal match, whichever team ends up where. Will it be Australia, who've already reached their first Women's World Cup semi-final? Will it be England looking to reach their first Women's World Cup final? They've reached this stage twice before, in 2015. Heartbreak late on in added time. That Laura Bassett own goal against Japan ended their hopes. Heartbreak in 2019 against the USA. As Australia play the ball to the edge of the penalty area, Lucy Bronze just getting away with a telling off and a free kick there, not a booking, and it's England's turn to get a free kick midway inside their own half. But Karen, I mean, so many of these players were involved, particularly in 2019. The likes of Alex Greenwood, Lucy Bronze, Jordan Nobbs, who hasn't featured yet but is on the bench for England at this tournament, were involved in 2015, as you were as well. Do you think it will play on their minds, those lionesses that were involved? Will it galvanise them?
I think it'll galvanize them. I don't think it plays on their minds. I think those are two different propositions.
Australia win the ball down the left-hand side, but it's a poor delivery forward looking for the run of Sam Kerr, and Jess Carter, who made the initial mistake, is able to retrieve and play it into the penalty area for England. Millie Bright will pick it up 0-0.
But yeah, back to your question, I think ultimately it provides learning moments, isn't it? So, you know, Millie Bright getting sent off in 2019 in the semi-final, she will have learned a lot from that, you know, and maybe has that influenced her decision-making in a positive way? I certainly think so, but this team has matured so much since then.
So Millie Bright in possession. Out to the right-hand side she goes. Millie Bright, who is another who has really matured, as Karen was saying, was sent off late on in that semi-final defeat to the USA in 2019, but now skippering the side in the absence of the injured Leah Williamson. As England play it forward down this left-hand side. Australia yet to have a shot on goal in this match, although it's felt even in terms of the momentum that both sides have garnered, as England squander a bit of that, play it straight out again for a throw. Seen a couple of those nervy passes, and they're being roared by the capacity crowd inside Stadium Australia, but England have had the better chances, Karen.
Yeah, they have, you know, and they've come out of being adaptable, like we've seen. They're happy to either try to play through the thirds or over the top, but whatever route it takes, it doesn't matter how the ball goes in the back of the net.
So Australia with the throw over on the far side. Ford won't get onto it. Mary Fowler, Manchester City trying to latch onto it. Such a talented young player. England get the better of her on that occasion, but really stepped up in the absence of Sam Kerr, who makes her first start of this tournament for Australia today. Sam Kerr. But Fowler, just 20 years old, made a debut as a 15-year-old against Brazil. She also has Irish heritage. A couple of her older siblings played for them at youth level. Lauren Hemp into the penalty area, finds Alessia. Russo has it taken off her toes, and Australia just about clear away. They're getting very deep though, defending those balls into the area, as Daly tries another one. Bronze on the advance. Mackenzie Arnold's there.
Oh, I love to see that. You can see Lauren Hemp and Ella Toone and Alessia Russo kind of targeting Claire Hunt on this near side in the Australian back line. And it was 2v1, and it was a lovely slid ball, but unfortunately, for us anyway, the defenders recovered very, very well.
Here is Sam Kerr, plays it back to Mary Fowler. Yes, just wondering whether Australia gave her that debut at such a young age because her older siblings had already turned out for the Republic of Ireland at youth international level, and they thought, right, quick, senior debut, let's tie you down. She is an outstanding talent as the ball goes out of play for England on the far side. It's 0-0 midway through the first half on 5 Live in the World Service. Karen, is this what you expected so far from this semi-final?
Absolutely. I mean, the Australian midfield and the England midfield are going player for player at this moment in time. You can see they're really trying to... I was kind of wondering how this matchup was going to work in the middle, obviously with the overload centrally and then the wide spaces as well, but you know, Gorey's picking up Ella Toone in the space. They're always aware of where the English midfielders are, and they're making it really difficult to build up.
Sliding challenge by Ella Toone is penalised, and Australia win a free kick just outside the centre circle. Australia, who have won 13 of their last 15 games, including that penalty shootout victory over France. The only defeats, Nigeria in the group stage here and Scotland back in April. That just before they beat England in that only defeat that the Lionesses have suffered under Serena Wiegmann. Indeed, it's the only time that they've conceded more than once in a game under her as well. Australia winning that match 2-0. Ball goes out of play for an England throw midway through their own half.
Yeah, that was a really fascinating run of games, I think, for Australia in particular. I think they beat England, and then they played Scotland, and then ended up losing, which was... I watched that game as well. It was a really odd performance, so it's certainly been up and down, but over the course of this tournament, they've put that ship right, haven't they?
England in possession just outside their own penalty area. Yes, they did West Sam Kerr for that one, which, as we keep saying, and as Serena Wiegmann said, and as they've shown at this tournament, they're not a one-woman team. But when they have Sam Kerr in the starting lineup, as they do today, their record goal scorer, Chelsea's top scorer as well this season. She's won 7 domestic golden boots across her career in England and the USA and Australia. She's quite simply one of the best strikers in the game. There's a heavy challenge on Australia's part. Over on that far side, goes unpunished by the referee, and that one doesn't. Sam Kerr's gone down again. In England, perhaps, although the boos are from the Australia fans for another foul on Sam Kerr, England might perhaps feel they're not quite getting the rub of the green so far.
I don't think they'll be particularly bothered, to be honest. They're so focused on what it is that they're here to do. I mean, for me, it's trying to win the ball. It doesn't look like it's particularly dangerous. But Sam Kerr is one of those players that is going to be able to read those situations. He just basically gets hit with the ball in the neck, doesn't she?
Yeah. As Australia play the ball into the penalty area, Hayley Rasso's there. Almost wins the header, but Rachel Daly sends it back to Mary Earps. Yes, two Chelsea teammates in Carter and Kerr coming up against each other, and you're spot on, Karen. Basically what happens is Jess Carter manages to get her foot to the ball. That then hits Sam Kerr in the face, and she grabs her face. Obviously it does hurt, but almost intimating that Carter has caught her, and a bit of a soft free kick. But England have dealt with it, and they have it over on the far side with Carter once more. Goalless here on 5 Live in the World Service.
But I think that's where they've really grown, Vicky, over the years. You know, there have been times we play against, you know, teams like Colombia, Italy, so on and so forth, that really, really frustrate you physically, but this Lioness team just doesn't seem to get phased.
Jess Carter, long ball over the top, looking for Alessia Russo. It's headed away by Polkinghorne, who almost put a defence into a bit of trouble there, and it's been picked up by Hemp, 25 yards out, held up by Gorry in midfield, so Hemp goes backwards to Kira Walsh, and now Alex Greenwood, left-footed ball into the area. Lucy Bronze is there, and that's a great take from Mackenzie Arnold. Talk us through that one, former number 1 for England, Karen Bardsley.
It's a fantastic take, to be fair, from Mackenzie Arnold. It's a lofted-in ball. It's your favorite thing to come and claim as a goalkeeper. She's nice and early off her line, direct path of the ball, and a lovely clean take, and a proactive transition from Mackenzie Arnold. So, got to give credit where it's due.
Another decision goes Australia's way, this time a throw. In fact, are they giving it as a free kick? Nobody quite seems to know. Initially it was Carpenter and Hemp both challenging, both appealed for it, but it looks as though our referee has given a free kick to Australia rather than the throw. And Claire Hunt, this impressive 24-year-old centre-half, plays the ball forward to the edge of the area. It's headed away by Alex Greenwood, collected by Georgia Stanway, who's had probably England's best chance of the game. Big save by the boots of Mackenzie Arnold. England have the ball outside their own penalty area. Goalless here on 5 Live and the World Service. A reminder, you can watch this match on BBC One via the iPlayer and the red button. You can choose the option if you'd like to with our commentary. Ball played forward by Rachel Daly. She goes down. England don't get that decision either. Alessia Russo has it on the left-hand side. She can't keep it in. Throw goes to Australia, and just every single little decision like that is so roared by this crowd. As England had the physios ready to come on, it's like they're on the starting blocks because Rachel Daly has stayed down there. She has now got back up to her feet, and I don't think she'll require treatment.
If anything, I think the lesson is that you're going to have to play the ball a little bit quicker. You're inviting pressure in, you need to release it or you're going to get trod on. But what I'm impressed by is just like the discipline that I've seen from a defensive perspective from Australia already. The opposite midfielder, Caitlin Ford's coming in, making the space really compact in the middle and really making it hard for England to get on the ball.
Former England goalkeeper Karen Bardsley with us here on 5 Live in the World Service as Australia once again get the decision and a throw. Free kick just inside their own half. It's all being played over on this near side to us at the moment as we look around at a sea of goals inside Stadium Australia. We've mentioned Kathy Freeman. Let's give a nod to Johnny Wilkinson. This was the stage upon which he kicked that winning drop goal 20 years ago against Australia in the Rugby World Cup final. So much history at this stadium. Between these sides in terms of nations, England and Australia across sports. But this could, as Australia play it back to Mackenzie Arnold, be the start of a real rivalry between these sides in the women's game. They've only met on a handful of occasions. This is the first time they've come up against each other at a Women's World Cup. So much at stake. England looking to reach their first Women's World Cup final. Australia in the semi-finals for the first time, and they're coming forward now with Carpenter. Lays it off to Hayley Russo. Right-hand side of the area, Russo excellently challenged by Rachel Daly. That is spot on. They're all appealing for it. What's the referee going to do here? I think the assistant has given the corner, and the referee belatedly agrees. Corner to Australia, 0-0.
A huge tackle from Rachel Daly. She's done so well to move her feet and move with the play, and she times her tackle to perfection.
So corner to Australia. Rachel Daly, one of the heroines that won the European Championship on that wonderful night at Wembley last summer. They're looking to do the same down under, to go where no Lionesses side has ever gone before. But it's 0-0 against the co-hosts Australia, and it's Australia who have the corner from this near side, and the danger of Sam Kerr is on the move as it's swung to the edge of the 6-yard box. England make first contact, comes out on the left-hand side. They're appealing for a handball, Australia. They'll get the decision. It's corner. Russo's shot deflected behind.
It's a warning sign. Hayley Rasso's pulled off the back shoulder, and she's got absolutely no one around her. To be fair, Lucy Bronze does a great job of coming off that back post and closing the angle, but must be aware.
Yeah, she kept her arms right behind her back, Lucy Bronze, having given away a penalty against China in the group stage for handball. But Stadium Australia like what they're seeing here. The Matildas with another corner from the far side. England have to hold firm. Lucy Bronze does just that, thumping header outside of the penalty area as Mary Fowler wins it. Australia send it back in. It's a poor delivery. It's behind for a goal kick, and Lucy Bronze has stayed down here as a couple of England players move over to her. Millie Bright, the captain's there, Alex Greenwood there as well. They help her back up to her feet. Well, she puffs her cheeks out. She's clearly felt that, but her middle name isn't tough for nothing, is it, Karen?
Oh gosh, you went there, Vicky. You actually did. Yeah, listen, I mean, it's a great header. Lucy is one heck of a competitor, and she'll get, anywhere, do whatever it takes to make sure that ball is cleared, and she's done just that.
England in possession. That actually, incidentally, is her middle name. It's her mother's maiden name. It's a Portuguese naming convention. So
shout out to Diane.
But she is very much a player that lives up to it. Lucy Bronze, as England in possession, play the ball down the left-hand side. Here is Rachel Daly, plays it forward looking for the run of Toone, who can't control it, and it's cleared away by Australia up towards halfway, played forward by Alex Greenwood on that early yellow card still. Inside the opening 10 minutes for the foul on Sam Kerr. A reminder, they don't have to worry about previous suspensions in terms of missing the final. Neither England nor Australia. Those yellow cards are wiped after the quarterfinals, but of course, tiebreak for this match as the ball is over the top, over the head of Lauren Hemp and into the arms of Mackenzie Arnold. Let's just talk about Toone, Karen, because Lauren James, serving the second of her 2-game ban, had been playing in that number 10 role, had been having an outstanding tournament up until that game against Nigeria. How do you feel that Toone has replaced her so far in terms of performance levels?
I think, frankly, it's hard to compare the two. They're very, very different. I mean, Lauren James, fantastic feet, really great creativity. I think Toone's actually been giving a different role as well, in terms of creating space for her teammates, linking up play, but being a bit more disciplined in how she goes about doing that. So here, we'll probably see her dropping in a bit deeper to create more space for Alessia Russo or Lauren Hemp to threaten.
Poor crossfield pass from Jess Carter, and England could be in trouble here. Here goes Hayley Russo. Mary Fowler's ahead of her. Russo still going. Plays it out to the right-hand side. Carpenter's ball across is poor, and the chance is squandered. Kerr was waiting. Ford was waiting. It's out of play for an England throw. It's still 0-0.
I mean, it's a good interception from Hayley Russo. A really poor pass, I should say, from Jess Carter. But I mean, Ellie Carpenter's legs are moving like the Roadrunners. There's no way she's going to get a good delivery there. There's no one at the back stick. There's just kind of no control there. So this is the moment that I'm telling you about, in terms of how does the fans' energy kind of translate.
They've won it back again. England finding it hard to retain possession. Australia, though, give it away. Short pass from Mary Fowler, won't be picked up in the centre. And Daly will clear away. Here is Russo on the halfway line. Chest it down. Russo, who was the heroine in the quarter-final for England, scoring that winner against Colombia here at this very stadium where England had to deal with a raucous atmosphere, a huge expat Colombian community here in Australia, and they really made it tough for the Lionesses. The same story here in Stadium Australia, but a little spell of possession has just quietened this capacity crowd a little. Over 75,000 in here, live on 5 Live in the World Service from Sydney. As Russo goes down again, doesn't get the free kick. I think I can count the number of free kicks that England have been awarded on one hand, but they don't complain about that. They get on with it. Lovely turn by Katrina Gorry for Australia, but they're still just inside their own half. Mary Fowler, the young 20-year-old attacker, dropping deep to get involved in play, leaving Sam Kerr up on the edge of that centre circle as Steph Catley of Arsenal plays it in field to Kyra Cooney-Cross, who gets bumped into by Georgia Stanway, just letting her know she's there. And Australia take their eye off the ball, and Stanway has it. Ball played forward to Alessia Russo, 35 yards out. Plays it back in field to Ella Toone, and now to the left-hand side and Rachel Daly. Nice little triangles from the Lionesses. Can they find the breakthrough? Here is Toone. Right-footed delivery into the area. It's only Lauren Hemp in there. It's cleared away by Australia. Played forward now by Caitlin Ford, brought down by Jess Carter, who's midway through the Australia half. Goalless here on 5 Live in the World Service. 34 minutes played in this Women's World Cup semi-final. Forward now to Lucy Bronze. She's well challenged by Arsenal's Caitlin Ford. And forward she goes, looking for the run of Sam Kerr. Intercepted by her Chelsea teammate Jess Carter, who plays the ball back to Alex Greenwood. And let's just talk about the back three, Karen, because that really has started to work together as a unit in the quarter-final and the semi-final as well. Greenwood, the captain, Brighton Carter.
Yeah, Alex Greenwood's, possession has just been fantastic. Her passing range is unbelievable, and we've seen it already tonight with that beautifully placed ball into the feet of Georgia Stanway for that huge chance early in the first half. And I mean, the way she can penetrate defenses and midfields with their passing range is just unbelievable. But she's added another element in terms of her defensive tackles, challenges, timing, physicality. She's just been outstanding in this tournament.
England in possession in the centre circle, and that's something they really miss with Leah Williamson's absence as well, isn't it? She's just brilliant at those balls out of central defence, and of course Greenwood could put those in from left back as well, which is where she played in the opening game. Now at left wing back it is Rachel Daly who receives the ball from Greenwood, who plays it forward once more. Patience here from the Lionesses. It's good build-up play. It's a good challenge by Hayley Russo. She's having a very good game. She's had an outstanding tournament.
Yeah, no, I mean, Hayley Russo, she's a great player going forward. I think she lacks a little bit of positional discipline sometimes in terms of filling passing lanes out of possession.
Lauren Hemp just about gets that ball into the penalty area. Oh, beautiful control from Russo. Back to Hemp, driven by Toone! What a goal from Ella Toone! Oh, it's a stunner! It's a fabulous way to give the Lionesses the lead in the Women's World Cup semi-final. A rocket into the top corner. Oh, you can't hit a ball cleaner than that. It is fantastic from Toone, and England have the lead against Australia.
Oh, I'm just loving looking around and seeing all these stunned Australian faces. This is just fantastic. But what a beautiful strike. Fantastically well worked in this left-hand corner here. Great little turn from Lauren Hemp. And Alessia Russo, pardon me. Nice dummy from Lauren Hemp, and it was just beautifully struck so cleanly right into the top corner. Mackenzie Arnold, absolutely no chance, and we were kind of sitting in this angle, weren't we, Vicky, where it just exploded off of her foot.
It's a stunning strike. It is top-notch from Toone, and England draw first blood against Australia here in Sydney. Well, she has scored some huge goals for her country. You think back to the quarter-final against Spain at the Euros last summer, that late equaliser to take it to extra time. You think back to the final, the opener at Wembley, as England got the better of Germany in extra time, eventually with Chloe Kelly. And now she scores in the World Cup semi-final. And it is a strike of sheer beauty. Out to the left-hand side go Australia, who trail now the Lionesses by a goal to nil. They're coming forward, ball into the area, headed away by Millie Bright. Comes out to Ellie Carpenter, nice turn, lays it off to Gorry, who drives, and Mary Earps is right behind it. And Karen Bardsley, that's the first real save, other than the offside, that she made. A very good save from Sam Kerr. Flag eventually went up, but that is the first meaningful save that Earps has had to make. And I say meaningful, it's very straightforward.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it just goes to show how well, this England back three has done in terms of limiting those opportunities and limiting the chances to be creative for this Australian side. But listen, it's an easy save at the end of the day, but sometimes those are the ones that can catch you out as a goalkeeper.
They all count, just like goals. They all count the same. As England try and win the ball just inside the Australia half. Here is the goal scorer, Ella Toone, plays it to Alessia Russo, lays it off to Georgia Stanway. England leading by a goal to nil here on 5 Live and the World Service. Back they go to halfway. Now Millie Bright, the captain, inside the centre circle. How will Australia respond? Can England press home this advantage? We have 6.5 minutes to play until half-time. Back they go to Alex Greenwood. Now Lauren Hemp once more as the Lionesses just slow the play down, and Greenwood has it once again. Millie Bright inside the centre circle, square to Jess Carter. As Carter knocks it back to Bright, let's head down to Katie Smith, who's watching pitchside. Katie.
And it's got a little bit quieter here, as you can imagine, Vicky. I'm sat behind Mary Earps' goal, but popping up all around me like daffodils in spring were flags of St George. There are England fans here, and the substitutes running up and down the touchline. They were certainly celebrating. Serena Wiegemann has been up and down from her seat. She's now patrolling the area. England leading 1-0.
Thanks very much, Katie, as that ball forward from Toone, the goal scorer, is poor. It bisects right between Lauren Hemp and Alessia Russo, and it's behind for an Australia goal kick. Karen Bartley.
And I can't get that vision out of my head. I mean, what a strike from Ella Toone. She hits it so crisply, and it just sails past the outstretched arms of Mackenzie Arnold. Oh, what a way. You got to take this in and finish out this first half like that.
Can England do that? Can they see out this opening 45? They're in control, they're in possession. They have the ball back with Mary Earps, who plays it out to Alex Greenwood. As Australia just get back into shape, their manager, Tony Gustafsson, is up on the edge of his technical area. His arms folded, the black cap set firmly on his head, as he watches Rachel Daly evading Hayley Russo just in front of him. Pulls it back to Millie Bright. England 1, Australia 0 in this Women's World Cup semi-final here on 5 Live in the World Service. If you're in the UK, you can watch on BBC One. If you'd like our commentary, just choose the option via the red button or the BBC iPlayer, as that ball forward is out of play and Australia will have another goal kick.
It's interesting watching the Matildas in terms of how they're starting to press and where the height comes from. You're starting to see this fluctuation between pressing with 2 at the top and then into a bank of 2 banks of 4, or is it going to be pressing with 4, 2 central midfielders and then a bank of 4 again? And it's that positional discipline, and the Lionesses are patient in how they probe, and they're just waiting for that right moment.
Australia in possession. Play the ball out of their own penalty area. How will they respond? How will this crowd respond? They've been dampened. Their excitement has been reduced. But they will cheer anything they can as Hayley Russo tries to get on the end of that ball. But this is a test, isn't it? Not just for the Australia players, but for the crowd as well, which have been such a huge asset to Australia throughout this tournament. The first time they've reached the Women's World Cup semi-finals, we've seen the pubs packed, the bars packed, the big screens outside packed, other stadiums opened and packed so that fans can watch the game. But this is where Australia need those supporters, and England will just hope to keep the glum looks on the faces that we're seeing of the fans all around us.
The support has been sensational, Vicky. You're absolutely spot on. But I think, sometimes we've experienced when a crowd starts to kind of project that anxiety onto the pitch, and I don't think the Matildas have experienced that just yet.
Long way to go. 3 minutes plus added time until half-time, but it's England who lead by a goal to 0. A stunner from Ella Toone. First time strike right into the top corner. And here's a woman who's capable of scoring a few herself, Sam Kerr. Australia can't retain possession. Cooney cross loses out, and here come England once more. Down the right-hand side they go. Lauren Hemp picks it up. She's got 2 players with her. Plays it back, ball into the area, missed by Russo, out to the left-hand side. Comes the goal scorer, Ella Toone, plays it back to Rachel Daly. 2 blue shirts to aim for. Oh, one of them is in there, and Mackenzie Arnold makes the save from Lauren Hemp. But the whistle has gone, the referee has spotted a push in there. And what a let-off for Australia. But again, to be fair, as Mary Earps did at the other end to Sam Kerr, Mackenzie Arnold did her job and made the save, but it might, had the whistle not gone, have rolled straight back out to Lauren Hemp.
It's a great save from Mackenzie Arnold. Big right hand come down. It's not an easy technique when you have to get down that quickly.
Russo trying to get in behind for Australia, cleared away by Millie Bright, out for an Australia throw, and their manager Tony Gustafsson catches launches it and throws it immediately to Ellie Carpenter as Australia look to get back on level terms before the break. It's England who lead by a 1-0 in the Women's World Cup semi-final.
But what you're seeing is Rachel Daly getting a lot of joy, you know, that ball into the box. Again, they are targeting that right side, you know, with Steph Catley, with Caitlin Ford getting forward so much. They're really leaving Claire Polkinghorn isolated, and, you know, Lauren Hemp, Alessia Russo are eating that up all day long.
Good run by Kyra Cooney-Cross, feeds Carpenter, who's looked lively down this right-hand side. Now Hayley Russo has it. Has Carpenter as an option, but goes in field instead to Cooney-Cross. Delivery into the area. Kerr was in there. Bronze flicks it away. New Caitlin Ford was right behind her. Concedes the corner.
It definitely needed that flick on. And Lucy Bronze is very, very good at that, recognizing where the danger is. I mean, yeah, Caitlin Ford is right there, ready for that header just back across the goal, but it certainly needed that. So good defending from Lucy Bronze.
Yeah, the most capped England player in this current squad, Lucy Bronze, making her 111th appearance for her country. But it's Australia who have this corner as we head for added time at the end of the first half. Driven into the crowded 6-yard box, it's headed up and away by England. Fowler will send it back in, and Mary Earps gets their little deflection on the way through, took the sting out of it, and Earps will come and gather.
I love this. When I watch Mary Earps come and claim a ball in the area, she recognizes where the pressure is. You know, the not only like physically as where the ball is, but where it feels like it's coming from. So she takes the sting out of the game by just resting on the pitch, just to kind of let everyone breathe.
1 minute of added time at the end of this first half. A half in which England lead by a 0-0. Ella Toone scoring 9 minutes before the break. A stunner into the top corner. It was a strike of sheer beauty, and it gives England the advantage, and Australia have it on the halfway line. You'd have to say, Karen, on the balance of play, it's an advantage they deserve, but it's Australia coming forward. Here is Caitlin Ford looking for the return pass to Mary Fowler, and Fowler gets it left-hand side of the penalty area. Carter and Bronze are there with her, so she goes back to Ford once more. Catley's there as an option. Here is Steph Catley, early delivery into the area. Kerr was in there. England got the first contact with Rachel Daly. Excellent header, and will be brought down this left-hand side with Lauren Hemp, but she's still midway through her own half. That's good defending by Ellie Carpenter, stopping the break. It's a throw to England, but oh, when you see that golden shirt of Sam Kerr peeling off inside the penalty area, that is hearts in the mouths of Lionesses fans. But it's joy for Lionesses fans inside the stadium here in Sydney, because the half-time whistle has gone, and it's England who lead through Ella Toone by 0-0. Karen Bardsley.
And what a beautiful strike it was. It was so pure. I mean, a lovely set from Alessia Russo, but this is the thing about Alessia Russo. She fights and fights and fights. She's always alert, and she'll create things out of nothing. And she won that 1v1 duel, got around the corner, had a pass back for Ella Toone. I don't know whether it went behind Lauren Hemp or whether she dummied it intentionally, but it sat up perfectly for Ella Toone to just go and absolutely wallop it into the back of the net.
A lot to praise about that first half performance from England. They lead at the break by a 0-0.
So advantage England at half-time here in Stadium Australia, leading Australia by a 0-0. Karen Bardsley, Ella Toone only scores big goals, as we know. When I spoke to her just a few days ago ahead of this match, I kind of asked her how would she celebrate if she scored a goal at the World Cup. And she's got a group of friends back home. They've all had little red heart tattoos on their wrist. And I don't know if you noticed, because there was a lot going on in that celebration, she kissed the wrist, that was the promise, and she did a little heart side in the air, because that's what her mates told her that she had to do if she scored here at the World Cup.
Oh, that's epic. I had no idea, but yeah, I mean, there was so much commotion on. To be honest, I wasn't looking at the celebration, but I was just drinking it in. But all the scrutiny, all the, you know, chat around Ella Toone and the season that she had, and, you know, why is she playing, why should she not be playing, those sorts of things. She's just silenced it there and shown the entire world the quality that she has. So well done, Ella Toone.
Brilliant stuff. On Gary Lineker, social, if you want to get in touch, by the way, at 5Live Sport, and you can text us on 85058 just to get your reaction on that first half performance against from England against Australia. Gary Lineker getting cracking strike from Ella Toone. England lead, obviously, 1-0. A gripped at work, another one says. Boss is back at midday. I'll be utilising my lunch hour. Very good too. Come on, England. And Peter saying Ella Toone with an absolute ripper into the side netting to put the Lionesses ahead. One of the goals of the tournament, and what a time to do it. We will talk more about that goal. She only scores big goals, Ella Toone, and that's why England are leading Australia in this World Cup semi-final. And we will be back after the latest BBC News on 5 Live with Al Tansley.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The BBC News on 5 Live. Official figures show inflation is down to its lowest level in 15 months, 6.8% in the year to July, down from 7.9% in June. The Office for National Statistics says the fall was driven by a reduction in the energy price cap and slowing rises in food costs. Nicola Headlam is chief economist at the tech company Red Flag Alerts.
In short, it's still pretty choppy out there. That's for households, and it's all business, still facing increasing costs, increasing demands for wages. It's very difficult out there. And even when the indicators sort of move in the right direction, people aren't feeling kind of richer and better.
The former Solicitor General Lord Garnier has called for a public inquiry into the case of Andrew Malkinson, who spent 17 years in prison for a rape he didn't commit. Documents have revealed the DNA of the real attacker was identified 3 years after Mr Malkinson was wrongly jailed, raising questions about why he wasn't granted an appeal as long ago as 2009. Lord Garnier says what happened defies belief.
The more one learns about this case, which coming out in dribs and drabs, the more one is shocked about how Mr Malkinson was let down by the justice system, essentially let down by the state. It seems to me that what we need now is complete and utter public disclosure of every document that relates to this case.
The BBC has contacted the Criminal Cases Review Commission for comment. The Crown Prosecution Service says it disclosed the findings to Mr Malkinson's lawyers. Former Ukrainian prisoners of war have told the BBC they were subjected to torture at a detention facility in Taganrog in southern Russia. Several of the captives said detainees were repeatedly beaten and given electric shocks. The Russian Defence Ministry has not responded to a request for comment. A watchdog has warned that antisocial behaviour is being left unchecked because many councils in England don't understand the problem or their own powers to address it. The local government ombudsman says it upheld 3/4 of complaints it investigated in the past year. And the comedy writer Graham Linehan says he'll consider legal action if a decision to cancel a show he was due to appear in at the Edinburgh Fringe is not reversed. The venue, Leith Archers, said the performance did not align with its values. Mr Linehan is known for his outspoken views on trans rights.
Heads on tour! Heads on tour!
On BBC iPlayer.
My wedding got cancelled by the apocalypse.
Well, human civilization also got cancelled, so that sort of puts your wedding into perspective. How dare you put my wedding into perspective?
A hen party gone wild.
You need to catch up, love. All the fellas have carked it.
You might be the last man alive.
I want to be set free. I should be taking charge.
Hand over the man.
Henpocalypse.
You know what? This actually isn't the worst Hindu I've been on.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
From 5 Live Sports,
The FIFA Women's World Cup 2023
with Juliet Farrington.
We're at the semi-final stage and England are leading Australia by 1-0 at half-time. It was Ella Toone who scored it late in the first half, and if you want to know more about her goal celebration, just go to the 5 Live Sport account, the X account at 5 Live Sport, and you can hear and watch her tell you why she had that goal celebration and how she had planned it for quite some time. Elsewhere today, it's been confirmed that Ben Stokes will be part of England's World Cup squad after changing his decision to retire from one-day international cricket. The all-rounder retired from the ODIs last summer, but will now feature in England's squad for a 4-match series against New Zealand in September. Here is the England selector, Luke Wright.
It actually wasn't really a case of changing his mind. I think he was always interested in coming back. Obviously, with the Ashes being there, he's obviously had to make that priority, get through the Ashes, have a break, give the body a rest as well. So, from that moment, he always says, just give me a little break and I'll make a decision. But the nice thing for us was it wasn't a case of needing to beg him or anything like that. He was always keen. So actually it was fairly straightforward. Once he felt like his body was in a good place and he'd had a rest, he was really keen to play. So look, it's obviously delighted from our point of view, and I'm sure England fans and everyone connected will be absolutely delighted.
Well, let's get the reaction from our cricket correspondent, Jonathan Agnew. He knows a little bit as well about the rivalry between England and Australia. Jonathan, is it the right move to bring Ben Stokes back?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I remember talking about Australia and watching him lead England to victory there in the World T20 in November last year, and saying out loud, why on earth is he not going to play in the full World Cup? You know, as long as he's fit enough, that was the point. And he's had this knee issue, but these World Cups only come up every now and then. And let's face it, Ben Stokes in 2019 didn't quite win it single-handed, but I mean, on that finals day, his contributions were incredible. So why not? It was one of those rather strange situations that he rather found himself in, and clearly that's been preying on his mind as well, and he wants to get back. Now, there is this issue with the knee, and what we do know is that in these matches coming up now, these 4 games, and this will be the World Cup squad, incidentally, unless there are injuries. He's only going to play as a batsman, so he's not going to bowl. He will then, of course, go to the World Cup. Then he's going to have a bit more rehab. Then he's got the tests against India, of course, and then they're going to try and really get this knee sorted out, because the thing for Stokes really is he needs this knee sorting out long term. He's got very much in his mind taking England to Australia in 3 winters' time now. So that's a target. He wants to lead England there and go and win the Ashes in Australia. It's a case of how he gets there with his various World Cups along the way. But you have to say it looks a stronger team with Stokes in it. Although they've made 1 or 2 harsh decisions. Brooke, for instance, Harry Brooke, who's made such a terrific start to international cricket, he can't get in this squad. Ben Duckett, who we know has had a very positive start to his Test career, he can't make this squad because they're accommodating Stokes, the batsman, and they're not accommodating Stokes, the all-rounder stroke bowler. So that's why people have had to fall by the wayside.
Jonathan, Ben Stokes' knee and the absence of Harry Brooke causing fans to put on their reaction on social media. As you understand, that's what they do these days. James English saying Harry Brooke, possibly England's most informed player, misses out, but Roy and an injured Stokes get in. James saying it makes absolutely no sense at all. And Smokey saying quite a few surprises here. No Brooke, Crawley or Duckett, and the inclusion of Roy also. But he says really thinks that Ben Stokes should get his knees sorted out instead of playing in this tournament.
I don't know what exactly to say to that. So someone's saying that Ben Stokes shouldn't be playing. A man who won the World Cup 4 years ago and took England to victory and has led England dynamically. Well, I think I'll have an issue with that. This side is stronger, having Ben Stokes in it, his experience. And people do miss out. Yes, Harry Brooke is unlucky, but I think what they're also making very clear is interesting, listening to Luke Wright, who's the national selector these days, saying in his press conference today, you can only have 15 people in this squad. I mean, there are names flying around there. It's fine. You try and get 15 people into this squad. But the point is also that there will probably be injuries along the way, and you can replace those injured players. And I'm going to throw the name Jofra Archer out there, who is not fit for this tournament. It's possible that he could maybe go out as a replacement for somebody who gets injured at the very back end of the tournament. So they are manipulating things around, if you like, in the event of people getting injured. But for England to go to India and win a World Cup, you need experience, you need proven winners, you need people who are going to play in pretty difficult circumstances, adapt, and in Stokes' case, to help lead as well. And that's why, I certainly believe it's the strongest squad with Ben Stokes in it than not of it.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Elsewhere in sport, we're hearing Harry Maguire's move to West Ham is off. He'll stay at Manchester United. And ahead of the Rugby World Cup, former captain Stuart Lilly has been omitted from Gregor Townsend's squad, along with Murphy Walker, Josh Bayliss and Jamie Dobby. Comedian Maisie Adams, she's in here in Stadium Australia. I'm hoping we can speak to her now. We've just gone through a light show again. We get these at every half time in these matches at this World Cup. And then The fans and supporters in here, when the lights go down, their torches on their camera phones go up and they wave it along to the sound of Coldplay through the speakers here. Maisie, host of Big Kick Energy podcast and the Transfer Gossip Daily on BBC Sounds. How are the nerves? How are you feeling? The thoughts on the first 45 from you?
Oh my God, I cannot begin to tell you what the atmosphere is like in this stadium. It is so loud. And we're sat like at the other end to where Ella Toone got that fantastic goal, and it was absolutely mad when it went off. There's enough England fans here, just about enough to hopefully have Ella Toone hear us from this side of the stadium. But it is madder than a Coldplay concert, if you can imagine that.
We've changed the track as well, but podcast with you. You've got the podcast with your fellow comedian and Susie Ruffle as well. What's it been like sharing like your passion with her? Is she kind of getting into it as well?
It's been amazing. I think that's what this World Cup is all about, is the inclusivity. If you take somebody like Susie who didn't know anything about the women's game, she's got so into it. I mean, I wish she was here with me, but well, she's not, so I'm here with a barbecue pizza instead.
Well, why not? Why not? I mean, there are other things you can go and buy along. We had Australian pies in the media room. They put out special Australian pies with the national flag just on the top.
It's amazing. It's amazing. The Aussies are now currently doing something where this sort of what is that? Is that a pelican? A toucan? I don't know. Some Aussie bird is running round and they're all passing a kangaroo to each other. It's all very, very Australian.
Maisie, it sounds really chaotic where you are. I'm trying to picture you because I'm looking to my right. We can see the England players. They are out in the huddle, coming out for the second half, and the Australian players have just come out as well. I'm not too sure what they'll be saying, those England players. Probably very much same again this time as they lead Australia by 1-0 in this semi-final. And to talk you through the second half is Karen Bardsley in the chaos and the noise alongside Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Jules. England 45 minutes away from history. Never before have they reached the final of the Women's World Cup, but they lead the co-hosts Australia by 1-0 thanks to Ella Toone's stunner. But I think Karen Bardsley, the crowd have rejuvenated over the half-time break. What will Australia have said at half-time? What will England have said at half-time?
Yeah, I think it was that penguin that was going around. No, I think, look, it's more of the same, I think, from England in terms of, keep working the full-back channels. For Australia, it's probably going to be around positional discipline, out of possession, but playing on the counter, recognizing those, opportunities a little bit quicker, and when you do get an opportunity, just being clinical. But I think more of the same from both sides.
So Australia get us underway in this second half. England leading by 1-0 here on 5 Live and the World Service. A reminder, you can watch on BBC One. If you'd like to sync up with our commentary, you can choose that option via the iPlayer or the red button. And here goes Lauren Hemp trying to get past Claire Polkinghorne, who does just about enough. Hemp still has it though. Right hand side she goes, approaching the byline, turns, plays it back to Alessia Russo. Lovely bit of footwork. We've seen some real glimpses of that from Russo in this game. Played back to Russo by Stanway, and now Hemp once more. We'll take you through the lineups in a moment. No changes for either side at half-time in this Women's World Cup semi-final. Poor ball across the field from England, and Hayley Russo picks it up. Down the right-hand side she goes, midway through the England half. Australia looking to get back on level terms early on in this second period. Russo just stops in her tracks and plays it back as England got the blue shirts back. Now Caitlin Ford of Arsenal has it on this left-hand side, has her Arsenal teammate Steph Catley as an option, but Ford goes all the way back to Claire Polkinghorne. One of 2 changes made for Australia for this game. Sam Kerr starting, their record goal scorer, their star player, fit enough for the first time at this tournament to take her place in the starting 11, as Steph Catley has it on the halfway line and plays it in field to Kyra Cooney-Cross, who squares it to Katrina Gorry. They've built a real central midfield partnership, those two, throughout this year for Australia, as Ellie Carpenter comes forward now. The right back ball into the area looking for Kerr. Kerr made contact, but it wasn't decisive, and it bounces all the way through to Mary Earps.
And it's really well done by Jess Carter. She recognizes that she's being pressed from Sam Kerr. And you've got Lucy Bronze in support as well, but really, really uses her body well to make sure that Sam Kerr doesn't get a clean header.
So England in possession, playing in the all-blue kit today, the lighter shades of shirts and shorts with the dark socks. They have Mary Earps in goal. The back three of Carter, Bright the captain, and Greenwood. Ahead of them it's Bronze, Stanway, Walsh and Daly, with Toone the goal scorer. Just behind Alessia Russo and Lauren Hemp up front, as Australia have the throw on the far side. They have Mackenzie Arnold, the West Ham #1, in goal. The back four of Ellie Carpenter, Claire Hunt, Claire Polkinghorne and Steph Catley of Arsenal. Ahead of them it's Hayley Russo, who left Manchester City this summer, Katrina Gorry, Kyra Cooney-Cross and Caitlin Ford of Arsenal, with Manchester City's Mary Fowler and Chelsea's Sam Kerr up front. England with the throw over on the far side, leading by a goal to nil, just slowing the play down. In terms of the overall play, Karen, as Australia win it back, we'll bring you in a moment. Australia want the free kick, they don't get one. Katrina Gorry is still going over on that right-hand side, such a tenacious player in the centre of that midfield, as Australia play it all the way back into their own half. Deserved lead for England, we have to say, at this stage.
Yes, absolutely. They've been exceptional in their pressure, their aggression, to not only win the ball back, but like really capitalize on the spaces that are emerging in this Australia back line.
Here is Ellie Carpenter looking to capitalise on any space that England allow her. The right back who loves to get forward. Plays it forwards. Infield now it goes to Mary Fowler. Ball in. Ford is there and Mary Earps is there too. The header across goal wasn't enough to trouble Earps. Wasn't enough to find Kerr. But Australia looking dangerous at the start of this second half.
They are. They've obviously recognised that the England back three have a potential to get drawn out, but Lucy Bronze does an exceptional job of filling in that vacancy as Alex Greenwood went to press the ball, and again making it as predictable as possible for Mary Earps to make that save.
Here is Greenwood in possession. England leading by a goal to nil here in Sydney, live from Stadium Australia. And we will be live in Athens for you as well later on 5 Live. Manchester City taking on Sevilla in the Super Cup. Do join us from 8 o'clock this evening. Australia in possession, just inside their own half. Ball played forward to Gorry. Switches the play out to this left-hand side. First time ball in field from Caitlin Ford. Won't quite run for Kerr. Does run for Fowler inside the box. Looking to work room for the shot. Good challenge by the England captain, Millie Bright. Gorry's there. Picks it up once more. She brought down there. Referee says no. Karen Bardsley's wagging her finger next to me. Tortoise Stanway gets booed by 75,000 or so fans inside Stadium Australia. And England are in possession with Kira Walsh, who sees the run through the centre of Ella Toone. Oh, that was the combination in the European Championship final. And Toone won't just reach it on the byline. But Australia couldn't take the chance that she'd get something on it. They play it behind. It's an England corner.
And that's Ella Toone in a nutshell. She takes those moments and creates so much danger from nothing. She recognises the space, starts her early run to make sure that she's onside. And Kira Walsh just clips into a lovely little channel just in behind the full-back. And managed to get something out of nothing there. But listen, England have been fantastic in possession. They're doing really, really well getting up to the ball and then dispossessing Australia, but then also creating opportunities on the regain.
So corner to be taken amidst a chorus of boos for England from this near side. Can they double their advantage? It's swung high into that crowded 6-yard box and bounces past everybody and goes out of play for an Australian goal kick. But again, they're looking for the run of Bronze at the far post.
That's right, a little bit of frustration there at the end from Lucy Bronze. Looks as though maybe she was blocked off by either Caitlin Ford, I think it was. And I'm not sure if Millie Bright was actually the target there. I do think you're right. I think it was actually Lucy Bronze at the back stick.
So Australia in possession, working very hard to get out of their own half. Giving the ball away. The work didn't pay off. Here is Russo, challenged by Fowler. That's a very good challenge. She then goes down under pressure again from Russo. No free kick. England in possession still with Lucy Bronze, right-hand side, swings the ball in, it's headed away by Australia. Fowler is there once more, those iconic black gloves as she tries to clear the ball away. Australia, though, struggling to clear their lines. Catley should be able to do so now, under a bit of pressure from Lucy Bronze, but she has the time to launch the ball into touch. England keeping Australia penned inside their own half. England lead by a goal to nil.
Absolutely, penned is right. You know, they're really, really well disciplined. England here in terms of keeping their distance. It's almost a bit like a false press. They're not going to dive in and make it easy for Australia to play their way out. You know, there were no runs. Sam Kerr was occupied, and the ball just sailed out of play for an England throw.
And this throw to be taken by Lucy Bronze. She has the blue shirts to aim for. Old ones are back there defending as Bronze plays it in field to Lauren Hemp. Again, nice little triangle. Stanway getting involved. Bronze now to Walsh, and England just look composed. They look controlled. Again, we're seeing a step up in performance. They played well against Colombia. They controlled a lot of what was a difficult quarter-final for them. They've stepped up the performance again today, although that ball is poor, won't reach Hemp and goes out of play for an Australia goal kick. 7 minutes played in the second half. It's England 1, Australia 0.
England are looking really confident, Vicky. I think the midfield's starting to engage a little bit more. You see Georgia Stanley and Ella Toone taking a higher position, but you know, Lauren Hemp and Alessia Russo have become quite a duo, and they just keep exploring that space in between the back line and the centre backs, trying to see who's going to switch off first.
Here is Alex Greenwood, plays it in field to Millie Bright. Jess Carter is there, both palms outstretched to her Chelsea teammate, just to say, just calm, let's play. And Millie Bright, so experienced, does just that as Carter plays it forward. Polkinghorne, so experienced as well, Australia's record appearance maker, plays it out of play for a throw to England, taken quickly by Lucy Bronze. They're not sitting on this one goal advantage, they're not forcing it, they're not throwing the blue shirts forward, but they do want this second goal. They know the danger that Australia poses. Fowler was pulled back clearly there by Stanway. Advantage played, and it's a good one too. And Fowler's ball is good too. Space for Cooney Cross in the centre. Out to the right-hand side she goes, and Hayley Russo. Carpenter on the outside, but Russo's ball is poor, and Greenwood can shepherd it behind for an England goal kick.
Really fortunate, to be fair, you know, that ball just rolled out of play from Hayley Russo. I think there was a lot of space being exposed in those central areas and a few sneaky threats from Caitlin Ford on this opposite side here, but that delivery never came, and Caitlin Ford was wide open at the edge of the area.
Yeah, she's had such a good season with Arsenal. Caitlin Ford, 12 goals for the Gunners in all competitions, 9 assists as well, playing in her hometown. Such a special occasion this for her, and for all these Matildas players, their first Women's World Cup semi-final, but they trail the Lionesses of England by a goal to nil. As Katrina Gorry picks it up in the centre for Australia. Here now is Polkinghorne. We'll play it forwards to Catley. Polkinghorne once more. Australia's turn to be patient in possession as they look to find an equaliser against England here on 5 Live and the World Service. A reminder, you'll be able to listen to all the reaction from this match on the Football Daily. You can download that from BBC Sounds. Just go to your favourite app store, search for the BBC Sounds app, search for the Football Daily and click subscribe. Here is Katrina Gorry in possession. Just evades Lauren Hemp with that ball back to Polkinghorne, but it's a good little spell of possession for Australia as Catley plays it forward, looking for the run of Sam Kerr, cleared away by Carter. Such a good reader of the game. Stanway, half a shout for handball, not given by our referee Tori Penso. And England have it with Kira Walsh just inside their own half. Plays it back to Alex Greenwood on an early yellow card, Greenwood's, but has managed that well. Now Jess Carter has it once more. Forward she goes to Kira Walsh. Goes down by Mary Fowler, and Walsh just patient. And I think patient is the word at the moment, isn't it, for England, Karen? They don't need to force it. They lead by a goal to nil. They're wary of the danger of Sam Kerr, who's now closing down Millie Bright. And as Kerr herself says, you can try and keep me quiet for 90 minutes, but really, I only need one chance. And England know that as they win it on the far side with Lauren Hemp, but she's penalised for a little push on Polkinghorne, and it will be a free kick to Australia midway through their own half. England lead by a goal to nil.
Jess Carter's been outstanding for me. We've seen 2 interceptions there, and then, you know, Millie Bright and Jess Carter marshalling Sam Kerr so well, just taking turns. I think Sam Kerr's just kind of targeting one or the other, floating in between, and really, they always know where she is and get a body on her straight away as soon as that run starts. But really, really well, like excellent positional discipline from the back three here.
Australia in possession. Here is Catley as they look to test that back three of England. But it's the right wing back, Lucy Bronze, who gets the interception. Hemp is up there, wins the challenge, goes for the early strike. And Mackenzie Arnold is equal to it. Both hands, palm it behind for an England corner. Well, she had to be alert there. Quick thinking from Hemp.
I love Lauren Hemp. This is fantastic from her. She goes and challenges Polkinghorne and wins that 50-50 battle as the ball just falls ever so nicely for her for a half volley. And initially I thought that ball didn't need saving, but actually it was a lot closer than I expected. So Mackenzie Arnold does so well to get two hands to it.
So corner to be taken from this near side for England. Once again, the blue shirts are dotted around the gold ones. Once again, there are runners at the far post. Bronze and Bright among them, and again they go to the far post, and Bright was there and she heads it wide. What a chance for the England captain. Again, there were bodies there, but it's a technique and a tactic we've seen England use throughout this tournament, and it looks dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, Melly Bright is such a unit. She's so powerful in the air and just rises above everyone else and gets that enormous bun on the ball, and unfortunately just goes a bit wide.
But promise for England from those set pieces. They have the ball just inside their own half, and Bright now back in the defensive three is an option for Alex Greenwood, and Bright is found, and Kerr will close her down, and now Earps takes a touch. She looks a little bit nervy there, Mary Earps, as Sam Kerr ball down on her, but she managed to play it out to Jess Carter, who plays it out, and Lauren Hemp has to hurdle the camera down there, can't keep the ball in, and it's an Australia throw. But Katie Smith down on the touchline. You had a great view of that Millie Bright chance.
Yeah, that Millie Bright chance, and also Hemp before that, who's been so industrious, and it looked like it came from nowhere. Mackenzie Arnold actually sighing with relief when she palmed that away two-handed, because that was a sneaky one from the middle. The crowd are bringing it, Vicky, in this second half. There's someone to my left-hand side with a sign saying, "Don't worry, we've got Gorry," but they are worrying now.
Thank you, Casey. As they come down the left-hand side, Australia, but Caitlin Ford won't reach that, and Mary Earps clears long downfield. Polkinghorne almost gets into a little bit of a mix-up with Hunt, but they just about deal with the threat of Lauren Hemp there and go back to Mackenzie Arnold. But that's it, isn't it, Karen? It's 1-0. This tie still very much in the balance, although, as we say, England deserve this lead.
Yes, they do, and I'm really enjoying watching Lauren Hemp play. She's just been so effervescent. She's just running around, you know, just causing loads of chaos, you know, challenging for every 50-50 ball, and really, you know, making the two center backs for Australia work and run. You know, their legs are going to be absolutely shattered after this.
Georgia Stanway clears the ball away in the centre of the park for England. It's out of play for an Australia throw, which they take quickly, but again, Carter just reads the danger so well. Clears away, is then bundled over by Caitlin Ford. Ball goes out of play. Lucy Bronze spreads her arms because England don't get the throw. It's gone to Australia. Catley takes it again. Those sort of decisions roared by this crowd, which once more have found their voice. Lovely bit of skill by Fowler. Out to the left-hand side she goes. Plays it to Catley. Left-footed delivery is over the head of everybody, and Rachel Daly will just see that out for a throw to England deep in their own territory. We've hit the hour mark. England are half an hour plus added time from history. They lead Australia by 1-0, looking to reach their first ever Women's World Cup final.
Oh, it's a great feeling, Vicky. It really is. I feel like England are really embracing this moment, but I feel like, you know, maybe a little bit of, not necessarily doubt is creeping into this Australian side, but lots of lack of execution in really crucial areas of the pitch.
And they're under pressure here. Well, defenders, in the end, they squeeze it back to Mackenzie Arnold from the halfway line, with Lauren Hemp and Alessia Russo lurking. It's Catley. Three blue shirts around her, plays the ball over the top, and Sam Kerr brings it down. That's what she does so well. Lays it off to Caitlin Ford. Now Kerr once more. Early delivery. England just about get there with the head of Rachel Daly. Brought down by Caitlin Ford. Australia building momentum once more. Kerr's first time delivery headed away by Greenwood. Almost picked up on the edge of the box by Carpenter, but Australia will come again. Over on that far side. Here is Carpenter up against Greenwood, who's on a yellow. Has to be careful. ball right on the edge of the penalty area, and that is why Alex Greenwood is one of the players of the tournament so far. Under so much pressure in the box, on that yellow card, gets the foot in. It's out for an Australia throw.
It's really well defended, Vicky, by Alex Greenwood. She moves her feet exceptionally well and manages to get a great block, and then again regains and just plays the ball out of play safely.
But Australia still come. Mary Fowler's ball into the area, cleared away by Greenwood. Tony Gustafsson pacing the touchline. The Australia manager likes what he's seeing. He's applauding his side. Again, Carter reads that delivery well. Comes out of the penalty area. Clears away for England, who lead by a 1-0 on 5 Live and the World Service. And now they can break as the Golden Shirts try and get back. Lucy Bronze has it. For a moment it was almost 3-on-3, but Australia with the numbers back now. And England just slow the play down. The Lionesses lead by the 0. They're going to wait for their moment to try and probe Australia and get that second goal as they have it with Greenwood just inside the Australia half. Down the left-hand side she goes. Infield now to Russo. Turns into trouble that time, and Gorry will send it forward, and here goes Sam Kerr. And now it's England racing to try and get back, and it's Kerr racing towards the penalty area. Drives! Oh, it's a fabulous goal! That is what Sam Kerr does! Her first start at this Women's World Cup! Their superwoman, their heroine, and Stadium Australia erupts in a sea of gold because she comes up with the biggest goals on the biggest stage, and she's levelled it up against the Lionesses.
She said it herself, Sam Kerr. She scores when it counts. And we mentioned obviously in the build-up to this game that she is so clinical, but oh my goodness, 2v1, I thought, hang on a second, she's wasted this opportunity, but it absolutely bulges the back of the net. But what an absolute strike. But this is it. England got caught in transition, and the turnover has cost them dearly. But what a strike here from Sam Kerr. Just tees it up lovely. It just goes up beyond that outstretched hand of Mary Earps. Really bright, it's just so close to get a slight deflection. And just takes itself slightly away from Mary Earps, but could Mary Earps have done anything else about that? Could she have taken another step? Was she too far near? I don't think there's much she could have done about that, to be fair.
25 yards, top corner, but as Karen says, there is a deflection off Millie Bright. Would Mary Earps have got there? On such margins, can fate, can destiny be decided? It's all square at Stadium Australia, 1-1. And listen to the noise here in Sydney. They believe once more, Australia, and she's got them believing. Their superstar, Sam Kerr. Australia have a goal kick, and England have to find a way to raise themselves once again.
Oh, it's so disappointing from England. Again, it came from one of their own mistakes, turning the ball over in transition in midfield.
Here goes Caitlin Ford up against Lucy Bronze, appealing for the deflection. Bronze gets there on the byline, plays it forward, picked up by Cooney Cross. Infield to Sam Kerr, urged to shoot, she's into the penalty area, she's still going. Oh, great challenge by Jess Carter. Corner.
My goodness, the change in atmosphere here, Vicky. The confidence is just absolutely bursting now from this Australian side. The fans are back in it. They look about 2 feet taller now.
This is the key moment of the match for England. You feel that, you sense it, you taste it inside this stadium. It's 1-1. They have to ride out this storm because Australia are coming. Australia are on the charge. They have a corner. Oh, they've swung it in, and the referee has said no, she spotted something. Mary Earps punched it away. And you know, I'll tell you what, listen to the change in atmosphere just from all that anticipation, momentum building, and now they have to go again. And I'll tell you what, England, uncertain as to what the referee actually saw, but might be quite grateful for that. But no, already they're raising the volume once more.
Yeah, every single time now anyone even breaks on an attack.
So, corner at the second attempt for Australia. Cooney cross, swings it in, Earps watches it and punches it away from almost underneath her crossbar. Mary Fowler picks it up, right-hand side of the penalty area, swings it in. So many golden shirts are there. England get it out of the penalty area, but Australia pick it up once more. Here is Claire Hunt, and she plays it back to the edge of the centre circle. We're midway through the second half. It's 1-1 here on 5 Live in the World Service. Ball into the area, Kerr is there, and the flicked header is claimed by Mary Earps. But this is such a dangerous time in this game. Katie Smith, the noise inside this stadium is incredible.
Pure and utter euphoria around me. Green and gold wherever you look. No one is sitting down anymore. They say the wind of Australia carried Cathy Freeman round to gold 23 years ago. You can feel the wind of Australia, the momentum for the Matildas right now, just behind me moments ago as well. Bethany England, Katie Zellem warming up for England. Their substitutes, they both had minutes so far, both looking a little bit nervous now.
Katie Smith, our reporter, here at Stadium Australia, down pitch side. As England, under pressure, win the ball back. Hayley Russo down under the challenge of Alex Greenwood. And again, the temperature rises a notch. But yes, Cathy Freeman, the heroine here at the Sydney Olympics. 400-metre gold. As boos again. Oh, I'll tell you, it's like a seesaw, the emotion in this stadium. England win a free kick, huge boos. Australia get a decision, huge cheers. But she's such a heroine to so many of these Matildas players. Cathy Freeman, she surprised them before the World Cup with a visit to their training camp. And they will hope to draw on the inspiration of that spirit. But for the Lionesses, this is where the mettle of the European champions will be tested. It's 1-1. Australia have levelled it up through Sam Kerr after Ella Toone's stunner in the first half. Millie Bright in possession, midway through the England half, and they are using their experience here, Karen Bardsley.
Oh, this game is mental, honestly. Like, how it can just turn, you know, on an instant, just based on one moment. This is fascinating. It honestly is, Vicky.
Oh, brilliant ball over the top. Lucy Bronze chests it down on the edge of the penalty area. Oh, hits the bar with the delivery. Almost catching out Mackenzie Arnold as the ball is cleared away and goes out for an Australia throw. Took a nick off an England boot on the way through. Oh, almost England back in front in fortuitous circumstances. In the end, just watching the replay, it doesn't quite shave the crossbar, but it is curling over the fingertips of Mackenzie Arnold and just curls away from that goal.
Yeah, it's really well taken by Lucy Bronze, and it's a cheeky little ball, and I thought that was just going to drop into the far corner of the net, but not today.
So still, 1-1 here on 5 Live and the World Service. Catch your breath. What a semi-final it's been. Which way will the pendulum swing next in terms of momentum? England have it on the far side. Here is Lauren Hemp. Russo making the move in the centre. Russo's there with the header. Oh, and it's just past the post. Arnold on the stretch, behind for a goal kick. Chances are plenty, Karen Bardsley.
Yes, indeed. I think Lauren Hemp's obviously getting a lot of joy down that left-hand side as she moves a little bit wider, delivers a great cross into the box, and Alessia Russo just glances it. Oh, just so close.
So Australia are preparing to make their first change of this match, and it is Courtney Vine coming on, but Sam Kerr could be in behind again. The bounce takes it just through to Mary Earps. Oh, they're living on a knife edge every time Kerr tries to break past that England back line.
She is electric, honestly. You know, the amount of forward attacking threat that you got obviously from the likes of Mary Fowler, but every single time Kerr's involved, she looks dangerous.
So England in possession. Courtney Vine preparing to come on for Australia. Their heroine in the penalty shootout in the quarter-final against France. As the ball over the top will be chased by Hemp, and she's almost into the area trying to steal it off Carpenter, and she does! Lauren Hemp restores England's lead in Sydney, and the Lionesses are back in front in the Women's World Cup semi-final. And you have to praise the tenacity, the clinicalness, the sheer will of Lauren Hemp.
Lauren Hemp chases everything down. She never gives up. Like I said, she's been fizzing all over this pitch. She's been phenomenal. And what a finish. And to capitalize on a what would you even call it, Vicky? Like a lapse in judgment, concentration, but to make something out of nothing into a snapshot of a left foot as that ball falls in between Ellie Carpenter's misjudged, and she's just clean to it, and Mackenzie Arnold gets a fingertip to it, but there's so much on it.
And Katie Smith, you had a perfect view of that behind the goal.
Best seat in the house, oh my word. That ball, it was like slow motion, Vicky. It just trickled onto the edge of the post and into the corner, far corner. And then Hemp found a pocket of England fans straight away, went over, celebrated. On my left-hand side, the friends and family of the England players all on their feet.
But here come Australia, 4 down the left-hand side. Bronze heads it behind for a corner. Now, the ball did catch her in the face there, Bronze. She's gone down. Few boos from the crowd, but that will have been a painful one. It allows Australia to make the change. Courtney Vine, who scored their 10th penalty, the longest shootout in World Cup history, men's or women's. Absolutely remarkable against France. 20 penalties in total. Vine scored the winning penalty eventually. So Bronze is back up already. Again, the medical staff are there like 100-metre runners, ready on the starting blocks, ready to go, but Lucy Bronze doesn't need that. But did they come on just for a split second? The referee is telling Lucy Bronze to make way. Now, whether she wants the medical staff to make sure there's no concussion here or check, but England, this is not good news for them. They've got to defend a corner. They're a player down for now with Lucy Bronze off the pitch. I won't be too happy. Kyra Cooney-Cross can make something of this, and if Australia can get back on level terms. England lead by 2-1 in this Women's World Cup semi-final. Cooney-Cross with the high looping delivery. It's missed by everybody and goes out of play for a goal kick, and Lucy Bronze makes her way back onto the pitch, and England get through that particular challenge safely.
Wow, what a missed opportunity there from Australia, not recognizing that they were a player down. It could have gone short, made much more of a difference, but just playing back some of these goals here in the stadium, they've been exquisite. Absolutely exquisite. Like, the amount of emotion that we've experienced in such a short span of time. Like, England have been on top for the majority of the game. Australia come back and really, really lift the place, and then obviously get quietened down, but now the boos are ringing out here.
Yeah, boos for Mary Earps, who is just taking all the time she can. Oh, people are standing up now, they're furious. They have welcomed a lot of new fans to football during this World Cup. A lot of people who've never watched what they would call a soccer match before. Welcome to the darker arts of the game. But here is Sam Kerr once again. Down the left-hand side she goes for Australia. England lead by 2-1. Ford is dispossessed. Stanway will bring it away, plays it forward. It's off the back of Cooney-Cross, but Stanway was fouled, and now Stanway goes down right in front of Tony Gustafsson, who's fixing the referee with a steely glare. But England have the free kick midway through their own half. They have the lead, and we have to go back to that Lauren Hemp goal, Karen, because it's so similar to that late equaliser she found in the first half against Colombia, where that time it was a scramble in the area, but it was her reaction. She reacted so quickly, she finished so clinically, and she waited and waited to see if there would be an error from Carpenter. She put her under pressure, and when there was, she struck, as Russo won't keep that ball in. Australia goal kick.
Honestly, Vicky, that's why she's been so, transformational centrally. I mean, she's so much more effective in the middle of the pitch, especially with this partnership with Alessia Russo. And she just chases everything down. She's tenacious, and she's always alert in the area.
15 minutes to play. And having been pegged back, England are once more 15 minutes from history as they look to reach their first Women's World Cup final. Australia with the throw. 75,784. Another sellout crowd as the attendance is announced here in Stadium Australia. But again, you can hear yourself think the crowd has been dampened. There are glum faces in the gold shirts all around us, but Australia have fought back once. Can they do so again? Or can the Lionesses hold firm? Down the right-hand side, Australia go. Play the ball into the area. Greenwood wins the header ahead of Mary Fowler. Here is Lauren Hemp, whose goal, as it stands, has England through to their first Women's World Cup final. Russo putting on the pressure on the far side. Oh, she's won it, Russo. Here she goes towards the penalty area. The goal shirts trying to get back. Russo into the box, pulls it back to Lauren Hemp. 30 yards out, central position. Australia do have the bodies back now, but Stanway will drive, and it's over the bar. We've seen her score some stunners, but that, from the best part of 30 yards, was high.
Oh, Georgia. Yeah, that was not the right choice. I mean, you had Lucy Bronze out in the right flank getting forward and just needed another switch in play, but hey, when you're feeling yourself, you never know.
Here is Caitlin Ford for Australia, turns beautifully on the halfway line, very well challenged in the centre by Kira Walsh, and Lucy Bronze will play it in field to Stanway. Walsh, ball over the top, can they find the goal to put this game beyond Australia? Here is Russo to Toone, who got things underway. Russo once more, drives, deflection, Arnold won't get there, it's a corner to England.
I've really enjoyed watching Russo today. I mean, she's coming, deep into kind of like that 10 position to, build up play, take it down in the chest. She's been a target, she's been a threat in behind. She's, moving really nicely with Lauren Hemp in terms of exchanging roles, allowing Ella Toone to run in behind as well and get involved. It's just been a joy to watch, and, the technical ability on show here tonight has just been phenomenal.
13 minutes plus added time to play. That's how long England have to see out this match, to make it to their first ever Women's World Cup final. They have a corner. Can they take another huge step towards history? It's high, the header is over. Once more from Millie Bright, the captain.
She rises, honestly, she rises and just gets head and shoulders over everyone, and all she needs to do is get it on target, because she's absolutely lethal in the air. And I don't think Australia have a solution.
Yep, she keeps getting there first, Millie Bright. Can't, as of yet, get those efforts on target as Cooney Cross. Brilliant ball out to the right-hand side. Brought down nicely for Australia by Vine. She's up against Daly. Into the area she goes, pulls it back, little ricochet. Greenwood gets the boot in. Australia keep it alive inside the area. Here is Sam Kerr. Deflected effort across. Bronze will head it clear, and you can hear the groans all around Stadium Australia as the Lionesses bring the ball up towards halfway. 12 minutes plus added time to play. England 2, Australia 1 here on 5 Live in the World Service.
And you think, just run Lauren Hemp, get the ball in behind, but no, they're clever, they're managing the tempo of this game. Happy to circulate possession, but, you got to be careful with the likes of Sam Kerr, and we obviously saw that, loss of possession centrally, so I think the Lionesses would have learned from that lesson.
Long ball over the top from Jess Carter. Lauren Hemp will chase it. She's up against the experienced Polkinghorne and wins the throw. Well, it's one of those things that Tony Gustafsson, the Australian manager, highlighted. Looking at when Australia beat England, the only side to beat England during Serena Wiegmann's tenure back in April. He said England have learned a lot from when we beat them. They were much more direct against Nigeria than they usually are. Nigeria, also a team like Australia, very strong in transition, and we've seen that from England once again, and it's paid dividends as they have the ball on this right-hand side. 11 minutes plus added time to play. England 2, Australia 1 as they play it back to Jess Carter. Midway through the Australia half, Australia keeping their shape well. They look deflated, Australia, having got themselves back on level terms. But Lauren Hemp putting the Lionesses ahead once more, and it's Hemp now down the right-hand side. Just about stopped on the edge of the area. Bronze picks it up. Delivery in is claimed well by Mackenzie Arnold, almost snatching it right off the head of Alessia Russo, who stops Arnold. Releasing the ball, that will be a free kick, and Russo's going to be spoken to here. She might be a little bit fortunate to get away without a yellow card there, but our referee, Tori Penso, is happy, and there will be a change. For Australia, their second of the match, Claire Polkinghorne is coming off, Emily Van Egmond is coming on, and this looks like it'll be a tactical switch as well. A midfielder for a defender. Well, they played a couple of systems, 3 in fact at this World Cup already, Australia. Let's see how they reshuffle this as Van Egmond comes on. And she is an attacking player. She can play that little bit deeper, but it looks as though she'll go up front. So they stay with the 4 at the back for now, Australia, but it's...
Ellie Carpenter's just moved into that central centre-back position, hasn't she?
Yeah, so then
She's coming up to fullback now.
She's coming to fullback now. They're still reshuffling Australia, but for now they stay with the 4 at the back, but it looks as though it's almost 4 up front now for Australia because they need an equaliser. They trail England by 2 goals to 1. So they have the 4-player defence. Gorry sitting ahead of them, Fowler sitting ahead of her, and then 4 players up front, the likes of Van Egmond, Kerr, Vine on the far side, Ford on this near side. It will be attack, attack, attack from Australia. 9 minutes plus added time for England to hold out as Jess Carter ekes out every possible second with this throw.
What you can see there was Georgia Stanway went over to Lucy Bronze and looked at her and was like, is there something in my eye? And then Lucy Bronze kind of like took as much time as she could to make sure she was all right.
Out to the left-hand side come Australia, who've won it back from England. Here is Catley, tries to play the ball into the area. Bronze gets there and will clear away. Out of play for an Australia throw, deep in England territory. England lead by 2 goals to 1.
Really calm, really well played from England here.
Here is Caitlin Ford in field to Mary Fowler, chips the ball into the area, Kerr's in there and flicks the header over from 4 yards. Well, it was a difficult one, Kerr. Her run almost turned her body, so it was almost back to goal. It would have been incredibly skillful to flick it into the net, but she's a player that's capable of it. It's a big chance for a player of the quality of Sam Kerr.
And it's fantastic ball in there, just in behind for Mary Fowler, clipped in, and it just kind of landed on top of the head of Sam Kerr, and I think she was obviously just going for the glancing header, but wow, dodged a bullet there, England.
Jess Carter, though, is miscontrolled, and here goes Kerr again, plays it out to the right-hand side, and the shot saved by Earps, still Van Egmond won't get there, and England survive, and Mary Earps waves her arms and tells her defenders to get out of the penalty area. And now applaud to the hands over her heads as England win the throw midway through their own half. But my word, Courtney Vine has made an impression since coming on, their hero in the penalty shootout, drawing the save from Earps, and Van Egmond almost latching onto the rebound, and if she had, it would have been 2-2.
It's a great strike from Courtney Vine going across the goal, but Mary Earps is well equal to it. Gets a massive right hand down really, really fast, nice and direct, straight to the ball, but fantastic England defending, always making sure they're following everything up, taking no chances, leaving nothing to chance.
7 minutes plus added time to play. Hemp racing down the right but won't keep it in. It's an Australia throw. And I'm sure I looked at the clock about 10 minutes ago, but only 2 minutes have passed, and it's that time of the match, Karen Bardsley.
It certainly feels that way. It certainly feels that way. But again, can I just say, Jess Carter was fantastic in terms of following up that shot and clearing it. She's been exceptional tonight.
Australia come down the right-hand side. 6 minutes plus added time to play. England on the brink of their first World Cup final, but Mary Fowler drives, deflection, takes it behind for an Australia corner, and I think those players that were involved with Team GB at the Olympics 2 years ago will have had horrendous deja vu there, because Fowler scored a deflected goal as Australia won that match. They won against Team GB. They won their last match against England, the only side to beat the Lionesses under Serena Wiegman, but Australia trail by 2 goals to 1. They have a corner, and we still have 5.5 minutes plus added time to play. Australia with the corner from the far side. Swung into the crowded 6-yard box. Mary Earps got something on it. Oh, it's over the bar from Sam Kerr. How did she miss? 6 yards out. Tony Gustafsson in the technical area has his head in his hands because of all the people that the Matildas wanted that to fall to. It was Sam Kerr. She's unmarked. She miskicked it from the edge of the 6-yard box. And that is the biggest let-off you will see for England. It should be 2-2. Karen Bardsley, how is it not?
I can't believe that did not go in. I mean, why is Sam Kerr unmarked at the edge of the area? It's a good punch for Mary Earps, but it's got to go wider or higher. But how did she miss that, Sam Kerr?
We talked about moments that can decide destiny, can decide fate, those fine margins. Have England just seen one there in their favour? Ball into the area for Australia. Rachel Daly clears it away. Chloe Kelly is preparing to come on for the Lionesses. 4.5 minutes of added time to play. And here goes Lauren Hemp. England leading by 2 goals to 1. Can Hemp wrap this up. She plays it to Russo. Russo inside the area. History for England. They are heading for their first ever Women's World Cup final. And they have done it against the co-hosts Australia. Russo surely wraps it up for the Lionesses. They lead by 3-1.
Vicky Sparks, I can't actually believe it. That was phenomenal. I mean, what composure from Lauren Hemp to just drive with that Australian backline. It's well picked up, and she again makes something out of nothing. And what a fantastic reverse pass from Lauren Hemp to the edge of the area into the fantastic stride of Alessia Russo. She doesn't break stride at all. Takes it right across the goal, and it just nestles itself in that far post. Oh, that pass from Lauren Hemp.
Katie Smith behind that goal. Best seat in the house and then some.
Yeah, if you watch the replay, you probably see me in the background, Vicky. That was unbelievable, and you just felt as soon as Russo had the ball on that wide left angle, it was gonna happen. Whipped past Mackenzie Arnold, all the substitutes running onto the pitch, a cloud of England support. Even Chloe Kelly, moments away from coming onto the pitch herself, couldn't resist getting involved. The only one not there, Serena Wiegman, still cutting a calm figure
out to the
in her
right-hand
technical
side.
area.
Out to the right-hand side, Australia go. An emotion from Serena Wiegman on the touchline. We don't always see it, but she knows how big that goal was because Australia were pushing. They just missed a huge chance with Sam Kerr at the other end. And all around us, the golden shirts are starting to slowly make their way from Stadium Australia. The substitution is made. Chloe Kelly was on. It was Russo's last touch of the match, Karen Bardsley, and it surely has sent England into the World Cup final.
And what a touch it was. Oh my goodness. I am so proud of Alessia Russo, you know, for really stepping up and taking control of what she can. You know, huge goal for her. Obviously in the quarterfinals, massive moment for her, but she's worked her socks off for every single second she was on the pitch.
Here is Cooney Cross. Australia have made a change as well. Alex Chidiac, the A-League Player of the Year this season, is on for Katrina Gorry. But surely England have done enough. 2 minutes plus added time to play. They lead by 3-1. And after all the heartbreak of 2015 and of 2019 in the World Cup semi-finals, surely they have put that curse to bed. Here goes Caitlin Ford as Australia still come. Chidiac out to the right-hand side. Delivery into the area, powerfully headed away by Alex Greenwood. Picked up by Courtney Vine. Forward to Chidiac once more. Australia have to score now. They need 2 goals in the last minute, plus added time. The ball rolls out to their manager, Tony Gustafsson. It's been a wonderful tournament from the Matildas, but surely it ends here at the hands of the Lionesses. They're in possession, but the atmosphere inside Stadium Australia, you sense they know, and as that ball into the area is poor, it's all just starting to unravel a little bit for Australia, and it was that moment for Sam Kerr, 6 yards out, unmarked, over the bar. We talk destiny, we talk fate. That is what has decided fate and destiny in this semi-final for the Matildas.
Yeah, you talk about moments, Vicky, in football, and that was a massive one. You know, I think obviously the place would have exploded if that would have gone back, you know, in the net for Australia. But, you know, England have, on the whole, I think, deserved this result. They've been fantastic. They've capitalized on the moments that they've had in transition. They've been, you know, really good technically, supporting lots of play, shifting Australia all over the pitch and creating the opportunities. But, you know, something that we haven't seen maybe throughout the course of the tournament has been that clinical approach.
6 minutes of added time as England make their second change of the game. Niamh Charles of Chelsea is on for Ella Toone, who got things underway in the first half with that fabulous strike. Goals in the second half from Hemp and Russo have surely secured the Lionesses this final berth. All they need to do now is see it out. Calm heads, composure, they've won a throw. How do you keep the emotion out of this though, Karen Bardsley? Because for so many of these players, they were involved in 2019. The heartbreak at the hands of the USA. The player taking the throw now, Lucy Bronze, one of a handful involved in 2015. The added time own goal against Japan. It's only been heartbreaking the last 4 of the Women's World Cup for England. It is going to be joy, glorious joy this time around in Australia.
And I'll be the one screaming from the top of my lungs, Vicky. The mentality of this squad, the management of how they manage this game, how they manage these moments, all those years of, pain in terms of not being able to progress, the big game tears that, this team has cried. Not anymore.
Lucy Bronze with the throw. Cleared away by Australia, off Bronze from Caitlin Ford, and it's a throw to the Matildas. 4.5 minutes of added time to play, but the fight is gone from Australia now. The newest chapter of this sporting rivalry is going to go the way of England, unless we are to have one of the most dramatic turnarounds, and they've not given up yet. Australia, Courtney Vine into the area, pulls it back, Chidiak's in there, goes down. Oh, is that a penalty? She's trying to get back up, Chidiak. No real appeal from the Australia players, more the fans. The referee's happy. Australia play the ball back towards the area. It's blocked away by Kira Walsh. We do have VAR. They will be looking for that challenge on Chidiak. The referee gestures for the throw. And if England take this throw, it means VAR are happy. Sorry, if Australia take this throw, it means VAR are happy. They are. No penalty, Australia. We play on. England lead by 3-1, and we have 3.5 minutes of added time to play.
I'll tell you what, that was a fantastic sliding challenge from Kira Walsh. Outside of the foot, gets all of the ball.
Here goes Caitlin Ford, challenged brilliantly by Stanway on the edge of the area, who thumps it over the halfway line. There's no blue shirt up there, but there doesn't have to be. They just need to keep clearing their lines like that, England, and they will be through. They have the 2-goal cushion. They lead by 3-1 here on 5 Live in the World Service. Australia send it long. Millie Bright's there, the captain, heads up in the air, out to the right-hand side. Lauren Hemp loses out to Caitlin Ford, who plays it down the line, looking for her Arsenal teammate Steph Catley. Hemp is there. She's marshalling the ball down in the corner flag. Her and Catley both go down, and the free kick goes England's way. And frustration upon frustration is piled upon these fans inside Stadium Australia.
Again, though, cool, calm heads prevail. You see Lauren Hemp getting caught up, here with Steph Catley, and it's a scrap, and she's getting pushed around left, right, and center, but she's not getting dragged into anything. She knows exactly where she is on the pitch, exactly what she needs to do, and she's not getting involved. She's going to see this game out.
Here is Mary Earps to take this free kick. Big breath from the England number 1, launches it up towards halfway. Just over 2 minutes of added time to play. England lead in the Women's World Cup semi-final by 3-1. They have the breathing space, as Chloe Kelly can't win that ball down by the corner flag, and Mackenzie Arnold will take this goal kick. Again, that's intelligent from Kelly. She might go into the book for it, and she has, but she's just brought the ball back onto the pitch. 2 balls on the pitch, so Australia can't take the goal kick. They take it now. They will add it on. That's what they're very hot on at this World Cup. But Lucy Bronze intercepts this, and there's tired legs from Australia now. Can England wrap this up in style? Lucy Bronze has it midway through the Australia half, plays it forward, and England, they know they don't need to. They know they don't need the fourth. All they need to do is take it to the corner, and Chloe Kelly does so, and she wins the throw. And England are seeing this out like the European champions they are. They're one game after these final few seconds of this semi-final from the biggest prize of all. Throw to England, deep in Australia territory. A little bit of pushing and shoving there from Caitlin Ford. Australia have given it everything. They've had an amazing tournament. This will change the game, not just the women's game, but the game of football in Australia. A nation has fallen in love with this sport like never before, as Mary Fowler looks to the skies as her ball is intercepted by Rachel Daly. But England, Karen Bardsley, are seeing this out. They have deserved this.
They really have. I mean, they've turned their tournament around, and each performance has improved and gotten better and better. as the tournament's progressed. And I mean, this is the difference between these two sides in terms of the execution when the tired legs are setting in, you know, the important moments, how they're being managed. Sam Kerr missing that goal just wide. You know, these are the huge, huge moments that England have learned over the years.
Big clearance from Georgia Stanway. Goes out of play for an Australia throw. We played the minimum 6 minutes. History for the Lionesses. The semi-final heartbreak at World Cups is over. For the first time, England reach the Women's World Cup final. And having made history at Wembley last summer, the European champions are one game from glory on the biggest stage of all. It finishes England 3, Australia 1. Karen Bardsley.
What a phenomenal game that was. I mean, England were in control the majority of the game, I would say, Vicky, but obviously Sam Kerr's never one to give up, neither of these Matildas, and managed to scrape the game back, and it was all so much emotion. The fans were booing, you know, anytime England got the ball, and cheering anytime, you know, Australia got anywhere near the goal. But ultimately for me, I think quality prevailed and well executed game plan. Fantastic strikes from all the goal scorers today. Toone, you know, opened up the scoring with a phenomenal strike. Lauren Hemp just working everything all over every single blade of grass. Alessia Russo, again, fantastic finishing and great technical display. Fantastic defending from the likes of Jess Carter, Alex Greenwood, and Millie Bright. And I mean, where do I even stand? I have nothing else to say but positive things about the midfield. They were just phenomenal tonight, every single one of them.
Over 75,000 fans packed here tonight inside Stadium Australia. Almost all of them were against the Lionesses, but they found a way through. England are through to their first Women's World Cup final, where they will face Spain.
Vicky, Karen, thank you. The players are still on the patch. Sam Kerr was just having a moment to herself there, hands on hips, shirt over her face. Mary Earps has just gone over to console her. Before that, it was Beth England. But Karen, I think you can take your jacket off now, because we can all see what you're wearing underneath. You're pumping the air, you're singing along to Sweet Caroline. Those nerves before that match, I could tell that you had have well and truly gone.
Well, I mean, I don't know about nerves. I would call it extreme focus, Jules. Thanks very much. No, but I've got my blue England shirt on, and yeah, this is amazing. Like, in a sea of yellow, there's a few sparse England shirts kind of dotted around, and I'm proud to have one on.
Still all the attention on Sam Kerr. The goal she scored was phenomenal, Izzy. For her to miss those huge chances before Alessia Russo struck with England's third. They're just about gathering in a hug, in fact, a huddle, both sets of teams. Izzy, on England's performance, we spoke before this match about things starting to click at the right time. I think we saw tonight on this performance that they have well and truly now for England.
Yeah, exactly, Jules. I think this game was defined by moments. Ella Toone opening the scoring, and then obviously Sam Kerr's reply, both of which were just absolutely fantastic goals. And then obviously Sam Kerr's chance that she missed off the corner, the second phase. You'd probably back her to net that any time, but she's missed it. And then within moments later, obviously, the reply from England with Alessia Russo. It was just incredible. Lauren Hemp and Alessia Russo absolutely on a different level tonight.
We can just see the England huddle now breaking up. It is all smiles. It is all fist pumps. It is all joy. Maya Letizier, obviously you know Alessia Russo, you know Ella Toone really well from Manchester United. Just your thoughts on the two players, both on the score sheet. It was a huge night, though, for Ella Toone, bearing in mind she's only just come into this side, back into this side, hasn't she?
Yeah, I'm so happy for them. Honestly, I'm speechless. I love them both so much. Fantastic, and Mary in goal as well, unbelievable. And I'm just so happy for the girls. Like, it's absolutely incredible, and their performance as well. And obviously, the whole team and their work rate was incredible. And you know, Hempo's goal was out of nothing, and incredible. I'm so happy for them all.
I was just, not to embarrass you too much, but what was your reaction when both Ella scored and Alessia? I mean,
yeah, so
Ella's
happy.
celebration.
They just jumped up in the air. They both deserve everything they get, and they're such lovely people and such great players as well. And yeah, they deserve all. They work so hard to be where they are, and I'm just so happy for them. I've got goosebumps.
Lauren Hemp, very much trending on social media. Adam has been in touch at 5LiveSport 85058 if you want to give us your reaction as well on text. Adam says Lauren Hemp has been electric all game, player of the match. Ross, what a performance from Lauren Hemp today, absolutely superb. And Mark says no look pass from Lauren Hemp, outstanding. Frank Kirby's also tweeted Lauren Hemp with applause emoji. And Gary Lineker, absolutely superb performance, a World Cup final at football. It's been a while, what a wonderful achievement. And before I ask you, Izzy, about Lauren Hemp, because you know her so well, Liam Gallagher also, congratulations to the Lionesses, come on, LG. Just give us some love about Lauren Hemp, because last year at the Euros, Izzy, she had a fantastic season, but a quiet tournament. This time around here at the World Cup, she's been an absolute star, popping up just at the right time with the big moment goals.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a player who's perfect for this system that England have played and found their rhythm with throughout this tournament, with the three back, with that partnership with Alessia Russo. It takes a long time to get to that point where you develop that relationship. But what I've seen with Lauren Hemp in her progress is the fact that she's gone from playing the left winger for club at Man City, pretty predictable, rigid role, which she's exceptional at, to this kind of adapted role. But do you know what? She actually was dropped from England's starting 11 a little bit in April. So she had that kind of taste of being on the periphery, and then she's brought herself back into that starting 11 and made herself undroppable. And her performance today, it just oozed class. Her game management was exceptional, her work rate off the ball, the pass for Alessia Russo's third goal, for England's third goal, the weight on it, the way she sucks the defenders away, and it almost makes Steph Catley believe she's never going to play the pass, and then at the last second she plays it. Just incredible.
Just before we go to Katie Smith, behind the goal as she watches the England players walk past, huge applause from the Australian fans for the Matildas as they take in their moments, even though they have lost this semi-final, but they do go to Brisbane for the bronze medal match. So there's still something to play for, and what a tournament they have had. But Katie Smith, you can see the grins from ear to ear, even though the job isn't done yet. England are thoroughly enjoying their moment here in Stadium Australia tonight.
And it feels like the flags of St George's are multiplying. Perhaps we had some shy England fans at the start of the match, too nervous to get them out like Karen Bardsley, but they are flying high now. We've got Jill Scott as well, just to my left-hand side, running up and down the touchline. She's been hugging every England player that has gone past her. Of course, the Lioness herself, she's tasted glory with this team. And a lovely moment as well where Ian Wright, who is in the stadium as well, giving Serena Wiegman such a warm hug. The Australians now starting to do their lap to appreciate these fans, many of them still in here who want to applaud. And I think it's really telling, Jules, to my left-hand side, there is a young boy holding up a sign, a boy saying, I'm going to be the next Sam Kerr. And I think if that's anything to go by, this is the kind of legacy they are going to leave behind.
85058, if I need to remind you to get involved, we just want your reaction to hear and to read from England's performance tonight, making history, reaching a World Cup final, and you can catch us as well at 5LiveSport. You couldn't get a hotel room here in Sydney for this match tonight. Such was the demand. Vicky Sparks, Richard has been in touch already asking anyone got a spare ticket for Sunday.
I'm afraid not, Richard. like you said, Jules, it's going to be the hottest ticket in town again. Of course, Australia would have loved to be here, but they'll be off to Brisbane, as you say, Jules, for the bronze medal match. And as both sets of players, and this is quite unusual, isn't it? If you see at an end of a game, normally it's one team that does a lap of honour, but England are going one way, Australia going another. They're probably going to meet in a moment just in front of the tunnel, but a word for Australia. They have had an outstanding tournament. As Katie Smith down pitch side just touched on there, they have changed the game in this country. But for England, a huge credit to them, and I really think They are building momentum at exactly the right time in this tournament. And sometimes it's easy to say that. I mean, we heard that from some of the players earlier on saying, you know, you don't want to play your best football right at the beginning. And, you know, some Lionesses fans will think, well, we beat Norway 8-0 in the second game of the Euros, and that was all right. But tournament football is all about making it through just whatever way you can. And in the last couple of performances, particularly tonight, but also the quarter-final against Colombia, they have faced a hugely hostile crowd that were completely, almost exclusively in favour of the opponents that they were playing, and they have come through.
Right, well, we have so much more to come from here in Sydney. England, can you believe it, are in a World Cup final. They will face Spain on Sunday. We're going to get the reaction of Serena Wiegmann and of some of the players as well on the other side of the news with Al Tansley.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The BBC News on 5 Live. Lower energy prices have helped inflation to fall to its lowest level in 15 months, 6.8% in the year to July. But the rate remains well above the Bank of England's target of 2%. Rishi Sunak said the drop showed the government's plan for the economy was working, but Labour warned many families were still finding things difficult. The Conservative peer and former Solicitor General Lord Garnier has called for a public inquiry into the case of Andrew Malkinson, who spent 17 years in prison for a rape he didn't commit. Documents show the DNA of another man was identified just 3 years after Mr Malkinson was wrongly jailed. And an 18-year-old who murdered a schoolboy at a railway station in Glasgow has been jailed for a minimum of 16 years. Justin McLaughlin, who was 14, died in October 2021 after being stabbed by Daniel Haig, who was 16 at the time. Haig admitted delivering the fatal blow but had denied murder in the trial at Glasgow's High Court.
See fireworks.
Get butterflies in your stomach. And feel goosebumps all over.
It's
The world's greatest classical music festival, the BBC Proms. Watch on iPlayer, listen on BBC Sounds.
From 5 Live Sports,
The FIFA Women's World Cup 2023
with Juliet Farrington.
England are in a World Cup final. 3-1 win, semi-final victory over the hosts Australia. Vicky Sparks, what a way to play out.
Yes, England go where no Lionesses side have gone before. After the heartbreak of the World Cup semi-final in 2015, after the heartbreak of the World Cup semi-final in 2019, at the third time of asking, it's third time lucky for the Lionesses. Their first Women's World Cup final. They were up against a raucous, sold-out stadium Australia, cheering on the Matildas with every breath, but England's quality found a way through. This was an impressive performance. Ella Toone scored a stunner in the first half, a rocket first-time strike into the top corner. Sam Kerr, starting for the first time at this World Cup after recovering from a calf injury, though, was equal to it. A stunner herself. Yes, it took a deflection off Millie Bright on the way through, but it was still supreme. A reminder of why she's the superwoman of Australian football, levelling things up midway through the second half. But England rose to the occasion. Two clinical finishes from Lauren Hemp and Alessia Russo, who scored in the quarter-final, both of them against Colombia, repeated the feat in the semi-final, and it was enough to break Australian hearts, to break that resistance, to end their fabulous tournament, and to send England through to break new ground. And now they are just one game from glory.
Well, the former England goalkeeper Karen Bardsley, Lioness Izzy Christiansen and Manchester United and England defender Maya Letizier are with us just to go through some of the social reaction as the players The England players are still on the pitch. You can feel that energy. They are grinning from ear to ear. Emma, to every single person involved with this team, thank you. Simply sensational. One more game, Lionesses. History beckons. Chris is saying, how are we supposed to just get back to work now after that? Lee and Camberley, what a game, what a performance from the team, particularly Lauren Hemp. Absolutely outstanding all game for her. Get in. Sam in Bristol, Lauren James about to complete one of the all-time great redemptions on Sunday. And Izzy Christensen, you know Lauren Hemp so well. Let's just recap just how important a season and just how important a player she has had compared to her tournament in the Euros last year.
Well, she's played such a different role, Jules. We saw her play the left of a front three in the Euros last year, very similar to the role that she plays for her club, Manchester City. And this year we've seen her taken out of the team in April in England's preparations for this World Cup. And I think that time away from the team kind of gave her a bit of hunger. And I think that's terrific management from Serena Wiegmann. You know, sometimes when a player, I don't want to use the word complacency because that word does not fit in a sentence with Lauren Hemp. But sometimes you need to be taken away from the starting 11 to be put back in even more hungry, with more desire. And this Lauren Hemp that we've seen tonight and the Lauren Hemp that we've seen all tournament is a player of the highest quality. And to do it in a World Cup semi-final, in the context that she's done it again tonight, it just proves what a player she is. Absolutely delighted for her.
Maya, you were with the England squad. You were part of the team in the hotel up until the group stages. Just take us inside that moment, inside base camp. What will that feeling, what will that mood be like? Because we hear so much, they're very calm and very collected. They don't want to look too far ahead, but in a way they can kind of let off a little bit of those feelings now.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, this is my first kind of tournament I've been a part of, been a small part of. So I think when I was going in, I was thinking, oh, this might be a little bit more tense now than it has been in the previous counts. But it's not at all, and it's so calm and everyone's so collected in together and just ready to play. And even before games, you know, in the change room, it's really calm and everyone just knows their role. And you know, we try and play towards our principles within the game, in possession and out of possession. And I think I saw a stat on the screen that said that our turnover time was to get the ball back 7 seconds compared to Australia's 20 odd. And I think that's one of our main principles. And I think that definitely allowed that Sam Kerr wasn't able to get as many chances as she usually would because the source was kind of cut off. So yeah, it'll be very calm and everyone will be so buzzing going back to the hotel. And I don't think they'll sleep much tonight, but yeah, they'll be fully prepared for the next game.
Well, we can hear from one of your former teammates now, Alessia Russo. She's with Gary Flintoff.
Thank you, Jules. Yes, Alessia, we're just listening to Maya Letizier talk on 5 Live. She's absolutely delighted for all of you, but of course, particularly for her former teammates. How's it feel to be in a World Cup final?
Yeah, we miss Maya a lot, by the way, but yeah, incredible. I think we've always been saying that we've been dreaming about this since we were little kids playing in a World Cup, but to take it to the final and have a chance to compete for the trophy is everything you dream about.
You say you've been dreaming about it, but there's a cool-headedness, there's a calmness out there. Where does that come from?
Yeah, I think that comes from us as a group and Serena. I think that we know what we expect from each other and the standards that we demand. So I think, yeah, we put in the work on the pitch, and hopefully when we go out there, we can play like we know we can.
Another goal for you this evening, another goal for Lauren Hemp, and a great assist for your strike. I mean, I know she doesn't particularly enjoy the spotlight, but how well is she playing?
I love playing with Hempo. First of all, we just have such a nice relationship off the pitch. I think we know how to get the best out of each other, and yeah, she's brilliant. She's lightning quick and composed in the box, and you saw that tonight.
And is it fair to say, if you can play in front of a crowd like that, you can play in front of anybody?
Yeah, I mean, when they scored tonight, the noise was, yeah, it was crazy. But I think that's why Hempo's goal was so important, because it switched the momentum back, and yeah, it was crucial in that moment. So was buzzing for that, and that's football. You're going to come up against teams like this in their home country, and what they've done this World Cup as a country as a whole, and New Zealand has been incredible.
You're in the World Cup final. Enjoy the night.
Thank you. Thanks.
Alessia Russo there talking to Gary. Interesting the point that Gary was suggesting, Karen Bardsley, about the crowd and playing against a crowd like this. What kind of crowd will it be against Spain? Because it won't be a crowd like this. It may make some noise, but it definitely won't be a crowd like this.
I don't know, but I told you from the start that they live for these things. You know, these moments. You know, there's nothing like beating a crowd that's so heavily favored one way and just kind of silencing everyone. You could sense the disappointment, obviously, when that second goal went in, when the third goal went in, and it was just deflated, wasn't it? But yeah, in terms of what it's going to be like in the final, it's goodness knows. I mean, I think on the whole, I reckon Spain have had a pretty good following over in New Zealand for the majority of this tournament. So whether it's going to be heavily favored one way or the other, I don't know. But I imagine there will probably be a lot of neutrals in the stands as well. And it'll be interesting to see who they decide to support.
Maya, she misses you.
I miss her too. A lot.
The talk about, though, how important her relationship is with Lauren Hemp and how they just get the best out of each other. We've seen that in the last 2 games, haven't we?
Yeah, and I think the partnership between Lesson and Hempos is massive, and probably coming into the tournament they didn't think that they'd be playing kind of as the front two partners, but yeah, the work rate from them, and honestly, like, I think that's what people don't see is the work rate. They just see who's on the score sheet. But yeah, for Hemp and for Leicester both got on the score sheet now going into the final. That brings a lot of confidence, and I'm sure they can take that in towards the next game. But yeah, they both played unbelievably, and Hemp especially with her assisting her goal as well.
Izzy, it's interesting. Ian has got in touch just to read his message. Prouder than the men's team have ever made me. Best performance I've seen from a forward for many, many years, Hempo. If you're ever in Lincoln, he says, I owe you a beer. Emily in London talking, though, about Serena Wiegmann. Such a phenomenal manager. You can tell the team hang on to her every word. What a woman. Emily saying football's coming home, ... Again, how much more, Izzy, can we say about Serena Wiegmann?
Well, retweet Ian's tweet to start with. I think he's spot on. I honestly, I'm out of words, superlatives for Wiegmann. I think to come in, change the culture, instill a winning mentality, to create, a brand of football which is pragmatic, interesting, and it lets all the talent flourish. And I think what we saw in that starting 11 tonight for England is the best players on the pitch. Sometimes, a manager struggles to find how to get the best out of their best players, but we've just seen a masterclass in it again this evening, and I can't think of enough words to credit the likes of Lauren Hemp. And I think, again, I said it before the game, but Alex Greenwood's distribution, composure, leadership is out of this world, and I think she deserves all the plaudits she's getting, and hopefully will continue to get throughout the rest of the tournament, which is only 3 or 4 more days long.
And can we just say as well, Alex Greenwood on a yellow card from the 10th minute, and to put on a performance like that when you're in that tightrope is incredible.
I'll just break off there because Ella Toone is with Gary Flintoff.
Absolutely, you should, Jules. Ella is indeed here. Congratulations, you are in a World Cup final. How does that feel?
Oh, unbelievable. We were celebrating with the crowd then, and I said to the girls, wow, we're in a World Cup final. That's a history. And yeah, something as little girls we all wanted. And yeah, we're all absolutely over the moon and already can't wait for it.
Talk me through your goal. Was it just instinct as soon as it fell to you? Were you always going to hit it?
It fell to me perfectly, and I thought, why not just smack it? And honestly, I've never hit a ball like that in my life. And the girls reminded me of that. But yeah, it went top bins, and I'm just so happy that I could help the team to the win tonight.
You knew Australia would make it difficult for you in terms of smacking it top bins. Sam Kerr's not bad, is she?
Yeah, not bad at all. We know what a player she is. She's huge, and she scores crucial goals in big games. So yeah, I thought we made her quiet tonight apart from that. But yeah, that's a challenge. We went 1-1 and then we stuck to it. We showed that character and yeah, went on to score 2 more.
Yeah, it is a team effort, always a team effort, but in terms of Lauren Hemp and Alessia Russo, they really seem to be getting that understanding now, don't they?
Yeah, both unbelievable players. We know what they're both about. Different players as well, and yeah, I think we played to their strengths really well. They've been great for us in previous games, and tonight Hempo was on fire again, and Les with another amazing goal. But yeah, it's definitely a team performance. All of us dig deep. The ones not playing as well are massive for us. They keep us going. They give us that support, and yeah, we're just a strong team.
And just finally, obviously, it's an amazing achievement for all the players, but thinking of, say, Millie Bright, thinking of Lucy Bronze, this is their third attempt to get there. I mean, was it just a moment where the younger ones thought about some of the older ones?
Like you say, we're a team. A lot of us, it's our first World Cup. For a lot of them, it's the third, and we know how close they've been. We've all been big fans when they've been playing in World Cup, so yeah, we've definitely got that little bit of, we want to do it for them as well. We want to do it for everyone who's come before us and everyone back at home supporting. It's for everyone, and yeah, for us, we just want to make the nation proud.
Well, May Letizia has been in the studio tonight. She sends her very best wishes.
Nice one, Mail.
Take care.
Nice one, Mayor. Goal instinct, she said. Just smacked it, went top bins, and I guess you celebrated that when it did hit the top corner.
Yeah, honestly, for her to hit that on her first touch as well, and she kind of just cut across it, I thought, wow, she's just barefoot through that. But yeah, very happy for her, and after training all the time, she's always practicing finishing, and I'm just so happy it came off in such a big moment for her.
I spoke to her a couple of days ago. She was explaining her goal celebration to me, but also the fact she is 24/7 football. She lives, eats, breathes it, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does, and she's obsessed with it and obsessed with getting better as well, and that's just credit to her mentality. And yes, obviously with United, she's been a big part of our team, and she's a winner now, and I think that kind of brushes off on everyone else.
Steve has said, sat in a park in Lisbon having a cider, shivers down my spine, great performance, but did you expect anything less from this England team? Otterly says, celebratory cannonball in the pool in Greece sounds fun. Everyone poolside got soaked, but it was worth it. Dare I say, it's coming home. And Layla, what a performance by the girls, inspiring a generation. Little problem that they're going on holiday. Layla, this is to Spain this Saturday, so it'll be an interesting Sunday. Serena Wiegman has said, speaking to our colleagues in BBC television, that people have been talking about the ruthlessness all the time in this team, Karen Bardsley, and there is ruthlessness up front and in defence. England just want to keep the ball out of the net. They want to win. They stick together. They stick to the plan, and it worked again.
There's ruthlessness all over the pitch, Jules, honestly. I mean, I was watching Kira Walsh and Georgia Stanway and the tackles and the back tackling and the pressing and the counter pressing from every single person on the pitch. I mean, Lucy Bronze and Rachel Daly put in one heck of a shift tonight, getting up and down, dealing with 2v1s in the channels. And then, obviously, I mean, I think Lauren Hemp covered literally every single blade of grass tonight. And I don't know, it was just a tremendous performance. So to everyone that kind of doubted the team, this just makes it even better. It really does make it sweet.
We are waiting to hear from Serena Wiegman, Izzy, so if we do hear from her, well, I'm going to put this question to you, I will have to break off, so apologies for that in advance. But she's also said that the fact that she's had the chance as a coach or a player, but as a coach to make it to 2 finals is really special. She says she never took anything for granted, but it's like, she says, she's living in a fairy tale.
Probably that humility that's the reason why she's where she is. There's so many assets to her coaching style and leadership style that, make her who she is. I believe her contract's until 2027, which is quite scary. Given the strength of the team at present. I just think she's just got everything, and the way that she analyses the game and then implements things within the game, the trust and ownership that she gives the players, I just think you can just see it happening. And I'm somebody who, I don't really know Serena Wiegman that well, and all I'm telling you is what I see. And I think that says everything, that I'm able to say what I'm seeing without actually having any sort of in-camp experience of working with Serena Wiegman, because the style is so clear. I think that's the biggest compliment I can pay her, and she is the world's best manager without a doubt.
It's a World Cup final for England against Spain on Sunday. Vicky, what will Spain be thinking right now?
Do you know what? I think England have just risen to the occasion the more that they've gone on through this tournament. And, you know, that they came through a poor performance against Nigeria. They did that on penalties. They had to come from behind against Colombia. They had to overcome the host nation inside a sold-out stadium, Australia. And again, it's just experience. I can't think of a scenario that they haven't faced and come through under Sarina Wiegman. And I think it will be absolutely fascinating to see what happens against the Spain side, who have also grown into the tournament, but who England beat in the quarterfinals of the Euros, of course, last summer. But they needed a late equaliser from Toone to take it into extra time. They needed a late stunner in extra time from Georgia Stanway to win that quarter-final. But when you look at this England side, they will back themselves in this form, with this group of players, with this manager, against any side. And I think that was true coming into the tournament, and I think it is even more true now.
And I just realized something. We're going to have Lauren James back as well, and that brings a whole different dynamic, doesn't it?
Well, that's the question I was going to ask you, Karen, so I'll ask you that right now. What does Sarina Wiegman do?
What does Sarina Wiegman do? Whatever she does is the right decision, in my opinion. I mean, listen, after Toone stepping up and scoring a belter like that, I think she's more than earned her right to start again against Spain in the World Cup final. She's shown a lot of positional discipline. She did a huge role for the team, you know, in the quarterfinal about linking up play and creating space for her teammates, and, you know, getting them involved in the attack as well. It was really selfless, but tonight she obviously stepped up and was absolutely crucial. And listen, I think LJ is young enough to understand, mature enough to understand where she kind of fits in the role, and, you know, she's served her penalty, I suppose, for her actions, but ultimately Toone is undroppable right now.
Yeah, just going on to that, I think from what Karen said, I think playing with LJ and training with LJ, I've never experienced any player like it, and honestly, she's just something special. And I think there's been a lot of pressure on such a young player at a tournament, but, you know, I think she's got everything, and she's incredible. It's so hard to get the ball off her as a defender, and yeah, she just scores goals. And I always say, if she's on your team in a small side, you've pretty much won. So she's that good. But yeah, I think with Toone's as well, I would not like to be Sarina right now. That's a very hard decision to make, but yeah, I think they both deserve it, and it'll be very interesting to see what she does.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have, isn't it? And, you know, I think, again, just the importance of all three goals tonight. You know, Toone, with the way that she scored, just silencing the crowd inside here, and then Russo in particular, of course, the clinicalness of Hemp, but Russo as well. I mean, the huge chance that Sam Kerr missed right before that game. I mean, we talked about it in commentary, the fine margins that you have in sport, in football. If Sam Kerr sticks that away unmarked from 6 yards instead of shinning it over the bar, we're back at 2-2. And England needed that third goal, and they had the clinicalness to find it tonight. And I think you're right, Mayor. You know, wherever Sarina Wiegman looks, in terms of the options that she has, and again, Chloe Kelly coming off the bench wasn't really needed today, but still came on as a substitute and did her part in taking the ball down to the corner and running the clock down. When it comes to the starting lineup, when it comes to the bench, it just seems to be coming together at the right time for England.
Yeah, definitely. I think Sarina always gets it right. So yeah, trust in Sarina, as they always say. But yeah, it would be very interesting to see what happens. But I'm sure whatever the right call is for the game and for the game plan and to win the World Cup is what she'll do. And yeah, as I said before, I would hate to be her to make that decision.
Well, we can hear from the England captain now, Millie Bright. She's been talking with Joe Curry.
We've wanted for so long. We had an amazing success last summer, but we always knew that there were something missing, and it's always been the World Cup. So now to have that opportunity is incredible. And yeah, like Les said before, the dream remains alive. Yet again, we found a way, but what an incredible semi-final.
What does it say about this team, the fact that you've been through so much and yet you always seem to find a way to win?
Mentality, honestly, I've said it a million times and I'll continue saying it, the mentality of this group is something I've never seen before. I think that comes from Sarina as well, and the belief that she gives us within ourselves, but also that she gives us. And we can play many different ways. I think that's the beauty of this squad. Whatever an opponent throws at us, we adapt. We find a way to win. Just really proud of the girls.
It's one thing walking out for a World Cup final, it's another to captain a side of the World Cup final. What's that going to be like?
Yeah, crazy. To be honest, I'm just keeping 2 feet on the ground. I think I'll just remain on task and remain focused. But I think it's I don't even have any words for that, because to be saying that we're going to the final is crazy, overwhelming, so many different emotions. Just so happy that we could give the fans the dream that they wanted back home, the fans that were here as well, that were off to the final. But to be leading them out will be absolutely incredible.
We'll see you back here on Sunday. Congratulations.
See you soon. Thank you very much.
Really bright there with Jo Curry. So many different emotions. Izzy Christiansen, Gary Neville has tweeted an incredible achievement by the Lionesses. One more to go. Just going back to Ella Toone, and again, we're still waiting to hear from Serena Wiegmann, so I may well have to sort of butt in. But Ella Toone, the first player in both men and women's football to score in a quarter-final, semi-final and final of major international tournaments. So in the quarter-final against Spain last year, Australia tonight in this World Cup semi-final, and of course she scored in the final against Germany in the Euros last year. Surely she will keep her place in the starting 11.
Sorry, Jules, what was the question?
The point about Ella Toone, and we were saying, with the decision that Serena Wiegmann has to make between her and Lauren James.
Yeah, of course. I think that take the emotion out of it, like KB was alluding to pre-match, there's nothing emotional around any of the decisions made with team selection about who deserves to play or who should play. It's about what's right. And I think there's a decision to make for Serena in terms of whether it is Lauren James or Ella Toone. And I think that there won't be any emotion attached to that decision. I think what we need to understand is the fact that it's going to be a very, very different game against Spain, who will have a lot more of the ball than Australia did. They'll want to possess it, so it'll be a game of cat and mouse. And I think that, that'll change the dynamic. So whether Ella Toone begins because of her, from the number 10 position, Ella Toone's pressing is exceptional, something which I don't think she gets credit for as well. So I think Serena will definitely look at it, analyse Spain, strengths and weaknesses, and see where they can exploit and figure out which player is the best option to start with. But I think England are going to have to quickly switch their mindset from being aware for a transitional game to a game which is much more possession-based for both sides, and it'll be a fascinating final.
I just wondered what you also thought as well, what Spain will be thinking. I guess they've watched this performance tonight.
Yeah, Spain, obviously, I think, again, another thing to note is the extra day's rest. I'm sure Maya will back me up on this, and KB, of course. In a modern day football, everything is much better in terms of recovery systems, nutrition, sports science, etc. But a day is a big difference in tournament football when you've got a final around the corner in terms of rest and recovery. I'm sure the Lionesses have got everything they need, and I think they'll be very grateful they didn't go to extra time today if they eventually did come out winners in that scenario as well this evening. But I think Spain will benefit from that extra day's rest. Of course they'll have analysed the game, and I'm sure they'll be rubbing their hands together as well as England will.
Izzy, Serena Wiegmann is now with Gary Flintoff live in the tunnel.
Serena, many congratulations. What does it feel like to be in the final of the World Cup with this group of players?
Well, I'm very, very happy. The job is not done yet, but for the moment we're really celebrating. It's such an accomplishment of the team, and again, of course, a very hard game, very tight game, in an incredible atmosphere here. Of course, all against us, but this was a big away game. But it's it feels so privileged that you can be in this situation, playing in this stadium with so many people, and then winning the game and making the final. Yeah, it's just incredible.
What did you make of the first goal from Ella Toone this evening?
Yeah, great goal. We came through on the left side, and I think there was some good passing, and at the end she got it, and she hit it in the top corner. So very well done, and of course it's very nice to be up.
Now, in terms of the game as a whole, you seem to be in control for large parts this evening. But I have to ask you, what went through your mind when Sam Kerr hit one in from 25 yards?
Can't say that word.
Even in Dutch?
Yeah, no, I can't even say it in Dutch. But of course, that was not. We played well, and we spoke in all the other games. That was sometimes we have possession. We really need to keep possession. And they were really counting, and at the moment we lost the ball. At the moment we should not lose it. And then Sam showed her qualities. She just hit that ball so well. It was an incredible goal. Her finish was really incredible. So yeah, and then after that period we had a little hard time because of course then the fans got behind it. They push a little harder, but we came through and scored the second goal.
And in terms of that partnership between Alessia Russo and Lauren Hemp, how do you feel that's really flourished over the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, they absolutely do very well, and they both come in their strengths. And what helps, they're playing close to each other, so they can support each other really well. And also they have some different qualities, which are
complementary.
Yeah, complementary. So they feel comfortable. But I also think the whole team at the moment feels comfortable with the way we play.
Just one more game?
Absolutely.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Serena.
Serena Wiegman there with Gary Flintoff. Karen, just to pick up from what Izzy was saying before about the recovery, obviously a day less than Spain ahead of this final, but listening to Serena, happy, job not done, allowing a little bit of celebration, but overall comfortable, calm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we heard it in the Euros as well. This is all part of the plan, Jules. You know, if only we were privy to every aspect. Listen, we know that the Lionesses are, you know, arguably the most prepared team, and they do everything within their control to make sure that they're ready, whether that be on pitch and obviously off pitch. So they will go and recover hard. They know how important it is. They've got a lot of wise heads in this squad, which will obviously do the right thing at the right time. You know, we know Alex Greenwood likes to get in the ice bath. We know the girls are all in the recovery pumps and massages, whatever it is. But you have to remember, like, the headspace is almost equally as important. So Serena will give them the time away to recover from the game physically, but then also psychologically. So they'll probably have a day in Terrigal. You might see them, you know, bombing around the eyebrow shop or whatever it is, where getting their
lashes,
their manicures, and you know, their lashes on and all that stuff. But you know, they gotta you know, reset and recharge. It's not just the physical; it's the psychological as well. So they know what they're doing. They're a well-seasoned team now.
But that's just it, Maya. You know, we are joking, we are laughing about the lashes and the nail bars, but they're allowed their time off, they're allowed their downtime, and when Serena gives them that time to relax, she doesn't want them thinking about football, does she?
Exactly, and I think you're definitely